as long as we make the show. We can be the best, or we can be the worst. So we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and some. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do.
Well,
This is how we do.
ladies and gentlemen, oh my God. Look at the new scenery here. We got the circle T's and the circle I's, the circle dots, the circle O's. We haven't been here for a minute. We've been slinging and dinging. Look at how bad the beard looks. I tried to do some trimming. It didn't work. But we are fresh off kind of relocating to another area. We are currently in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This is where I didn't know it when I was booking this hotel room, but this is the Kenosha where the Rittenhouse dude did all that crazy stuff where he shot the guy and all that. That's where we're currently located, getting ready for Beaver Dam, making some new songs, new music. You know, I had a lot of time to reflect after the Indy 500 situation where I just, man, it was, I don't know how to respond, I guess, properly. I guess somebody hit it in the comments when I retracted my evil rant, mean rant. I guess I was baited into being mean, you know, when Kenny Wallace said that. And, you know, also when the lies were lined up after that. I don't know. I felt like, okay, they think I'm mean, huh? They think I'm mean. Let me show you what mean can be. So I almost felt like I was emotionally baited into that in a weird way to be meaner, you know, to be like, okay, you think so, huh? But vengeance is an evil tool, and we shouldn't be using it as often as more than likely we do. So regardless, you know, the Indy 500, just to reflect on the entire situation, man, I just, the qualifying day when I got there, I drove all the way from Sharon, woke up at Sharon at 7:30 in the morning, drove all the way from Sharon to Indy to watch qualifying. I didn't expect much. We get there, and I just thought it was so damn badass. I just thought it was so cool to qualify and how everybody was in it, how they zipped by, everything. And then once the main came, or the main event Sunday came, the following weekend, everything was great and grand once again. And everything built up was awesome. Had a debate with the freaking Jesus guy who we may have on the show here very, very soon. And then also went to the campgrounds, had a great time with Adam, guy who helped formulate the whole entire trip. Survived the rainstorm in this giant 60 by 80 tent that we may get to host some private events in the campgrounds. I mean, this thing was probably the size of 2 buses, but it was like a tent. And I was like, man, if I could set this up at the campground, we could do some like concerts and private events at some of these big racing shows. But regardless, everything was great. Sean, the guy who had showed up to go with, from the Knoxville area, he was all hyped up and ready to go. You know, everything was going great, going grand. And then, you know, we're walking when they called the race back to going green. We're walking to go to his seats because we had tried sitting in turn 1 seats, and we kind of got kicked out of them. We had 1 ticket, not 2. We had a pair of tickets in turn 4. So after we kind of halfway got kicked out of the turn 1 seats, started walking towards turn 4 to catch the beginning of the race. Well, about halfway there's a bridge on the front straightaway. I believe it's just before the start-finish line. And somehow this AMR like golf cart lady drove by me and Sean. I was like, hey, she's kind of cute. I could talk her into giving us a ride. And she kind of stopped to back up and go around. We were walking as I said that. And he's like, no, you can't. And I had already had me a few little smoky smokes and a drinky drink. Smoky smokes as far as cigars in the campground. So I was buzzed on like 800 milligrams of nicotine. We looked it up on how many milligrams of nicotine the cigar we were smoking had. And I was already buzzed up. I don't think we did fireball shots, but we had some Trulies. Oh, it was in us. And so I basically sweet talked this paramedic into giving us a ride. Hey, the loose cannon in the comments is Sean, by the way, so he can verify this. I sweet talked this girl who worked. I have it on video, actually. I could make a video of this. It was on my Snapchat if you were there. I sweet talked her into giving us a ride from the front straightaway. I don't know how this is possible. I don't think it was legal. Under the tunnel, like through these private areas, and then on to, like, gave us like a private tour. All these people on the comments and all my videos call me ugly and what's wrong with your face and all this stuff. I mean, something's going right. I mean, I could pull some pretty amazing things off just by giving a little, I guess it's the eyebrows or something. I don't know. But regardless, we get all the way under the tunnel here, there, and the other, and then by this snake pit thing, which looked amazing, by the way. We get all the way into turn 4 on this private ride, and we go get in the seats, or we go stand on the fence, actually. And I'm like, I want to get a good flyby of the entering turn 4 on the green flag lap. You know, they'll be up to speed and get me a good little shot. And I kind of talked to the dude who was doing security, like, hey, I'm trying to get a shot. I do this, I do that. And he's like, all right, you get one lap. So they do all the pageantries. Everything's so cool. Everybody's into it. They go and they do their hoorahs and all this stuff. And then the green flag's coming out, and they go on by, and they start 3 wide, and they go, and they slowly build speed, and then they come into 3, and through the tunnel turn, and right by me, and then they go, oh, zoo, zoo, and then I'm like, all right, let's go to the seat. Go up to the seat, sit down, and then the race happened. And look, some of you people may, and I offended some IndyCar people. Oh, I made them mad. Some of you people may be shocked by cars coming by at a high rate of speed. But for those people who are shocked, you need to go stand on the first section of stairs at Turn Royal, or in Turn 1 at this place called Port Royal Speedway, sir, and let the 24 sprint cars come in there and slide that son of a bitch up onto the door. Some of y'all need to stand in Turn 3 at Eldora before you cross the pit passing area, right there where the love tunnel is, and have them cars enter 3 up on the wall. Some of you need to go to Daytona and watch how slow that traffic jam is. But I'll tell you what, there was nothing impressive about what I was seeing. And in my aspect, maybe it's racing that is boring. Maybe I'm not a race, and it was just boring to me. The race was horrible. So let's continue the deal. I was like, we got to go do something. So I was like, let's go try to get in the snake pit. We're walking around. We didn't care about Larson or anything at this point. There's nothing to watch. He's just riding in a line. We get down to the infield, and we try to go in the snake pit. We didn't have an armband, so we didn't get in there. And then we go walking around, and the snake pit thing looked cool. And then we noticed all these people. There was one girl on the ground asleep. A bunch of people were just basically camping out on the infield. They weren't like, some were watching the TV. Most people were just like camping out and just like hearing the sound of cars. And then once the snake pit closed, once they had their last concert, most people in the infield that I saw left. It was just like boring. So it's like, man, I keep saying, I had this issue with Kenny Wallace. Hate to bring him up again. We're going to keep doing it since he says I want to use his name to make ratings. But I made the point how as dirt fans, we don't like NASCAR because of the product. And he wants to say it's because we're all poor or something, or at least that's how I take it. And it's like we're paying $100, $150 to Flow, $350 to Dirt Vision to watch it. Where it's NASCAR's free and we don't really watch it. We wait for the highlights to come up or somebody to slap somebody around because the product on the track is horrible. And I think maybe dirt fans or fans of dirt racing or action-based racing. I had a very interesting conversation today with somebody in the Bitcoin world. We've been doing a lot of stuff. If some remember the Buckeye Bitcoin sponsorship, there's been some developments in that where we're going to be discussing it more. But he was in Barcelona at MotoGP this last weekend. And he was talking about, how he had went to two Indy 500s, and he's like, I just can't ever get into it. He's like, I can get off on watching a sprint car enter 3 at Eldora. I can get off watching this freaking MotoGP rocket. He said when he went to the MotoGP event at Indianapolis, it was amazing. But the Indy 500 on-track product just didn't do it for him. And I've went to Laguna Seca, for the all-day American of Speed or whatever it was. I thought Laguna Seca was awesome. I've been to Daytona for the Gatorade 125s. It was boring, just as boring as Indy, okay? Now, maybe that makes me not a race fan. I think the thing that is bad here is oval, asphalt oval. I think Australia's got it right. Australia, they don't fuck with oval. They tried to bring NASCAR in. It failed because the fans there know what action is. They got to be tuned on by it. They got to be tuned on by the show. And asphalt oval died in Australia. The road racing stuff succeeded. The supercars and all that, it succeeds and survives. But the sprint cars are the top dog over there because as far as oval racing, it's the top pinnacle of action on the track. And I just think our sport's so no one's promoting it, technically. Speaking of promoting, this is a good glimpse. Once again, to wrap up the Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in motorsports, okay, the race is not a part of that spectacle. I just want to make that clear, in my opinion. And maybe that's because I'm experienced in what entertaining racing is. I guess if you don't know any better, it's great. But if you know anything at all, it sucks. Still, I still apologize to the people I've made so mad and all these death threats and all that. I've got death threats before. I just sat back and said, I guess I was mean. I didn't say it like I'm saying it right now with explanation wherewithal. I just ripped some asshole on that YouTube or Instagram all the way around short. I was just mean. So I was like, yeah, that's a little mean. But regardless, speaking of no one promotes the sport of dirt racing, halfway story, prior to that, Wednesday, we went to Bloomington Speedway. Went to a hotel in Bloomington where nobody knows who Steve Kinser is, by the way. Nobody in Bloomington, Indiana knows who Steve Kinser is. Once again, promotion of the sport. You think you're so big. You're not. We were smoking some cigars. Cigars in Indiana just happened. I don't know why. We were smoking some cigars on a patio. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden, this woman, 50-ish, shut up, Spike / Cuddle in the comments. I know you're in there saying something disgusting. I'm sure Cuddle's in there somewhere. Or has he changed his name? No, it's still Cuddle. Some 50-year-old lady comes walking out with a cigarette. And I go to talk to her, and because it was just me, Sean, and her. And she was from France. She was there for the Indy 500. She could barely speak English at all. She had explained how she went through English training for weeks. She was from Nice, France, which is on the southern side near the Mediterranean Sea. She was explaining all this stuff. And I was like, so y'all are really here for the Indy 500? And then her husband walks out probably 30 minutes into the conversation. And I'm like, well, y'all need to come to a dirt race. And I was already talking to some people about going to Paragon the next night. And so they were like, oh, yeah, sure. I was like, how do I contact you? They're like, they use WhatsApp. I was like, I hate WhatsApp. But all right, I'll use it because this was cool. I was going to introduce these new people to the sport. The husband couldn't speak French, so she was kind of like a halfway translator that couldn't translate. But regardless, we get them to Paragon the next night, and it was fan appreciation night. And in this fan appreciation night, apparently, I didn't know this, it was $10 a person for one. And non-wing 410 sprint cars was the head card. It was street stocks, which their street stocks look like late models. Is under that. Then some pure stock looking things, and then front wheel drives, which there's a front wheel drive there that looked like a freaking Camaro. And if they want to compact a Chevy vehicle, that would be the perfect vehicle in the world. Do I have a video of that? That Chevy vehicle was just amazing. Regardless, go look it up on my posts on my Instagrams. I got it on Instagram. It may be on the shorts. Hold on, let's see. It may be on the shorts. I'm not sure. But regardless, they come to this fan appreciation night. They pull all these cars out. The freaking French people show. I was doing some filming work with some people. We may not put that video out just because of lead-ons and scenarios, but regardless, they get there and they pull all the freaking cars out onto the front straightaway. All of the classes, 4 classes, they put all the cars out there on the front straightaway, open the gates, and prior to the heat racing or anything like that, they let the fans go out there and get into the cars and talk to the drivers and do autographs and hero cars. And the freaking French people were losing their damn minds. And then the husband gets out there, and I talked to one of the street stock guys to let him get in the car, and I was like, he gets the car, get in the car. You know, I was trying to translate myself. And these French people, this French guy freaking, oh, really? Oh, I mean, he was dude, the dude loses his mind. I got this all on video, too. Hopefully we'll put it out. We'll see what happens. But, dude, he was losing his freaking mind. And so anyways, they're freaked out. They're having the time of their damn life. We're explaining to them what sprint cars are, why they don't have transmissions, what they do, how much they cost, stuff like that. Race night goes on. There's great racing, a flip. Unfortunately, Cody Trammell went to the hospital. Hopefully, he's getting better. Hopefully, on the updates, I haven't seen any, but hopefully he gets better with whatever happened there. I heard he was alert and okay. Didn't walk away technically, but was alert, was sound when he did get put into the ambulance. And then a pretty damn good 3-car-ish battle for the lead. After the race, these freaking French people were all about it. All about it. They were like, we never see anything like this. The only race we know of America is Indy and NASCAR. That's 99% of society right now. And this bothers me so much because people just sit back and let it happen. Just sit back and let it happen. But, I mean... Okay, so I already see the first comment. Rumors are true. Are the rumors true about Callum and the Trone car departing? Well, I guess if you're going to receive a text message to be told that you're not driving the car anymore, I guess it's fine to sit here and just, news breaks on a damn fat guy's YouTube channel that caused it all to happen. So the word I heard, the rumor mill, from a very reliable source is that, yes, this pairing between the Trone Outdoor 39 and Callum Williamson has come to an end in 2024, just after a month's time of the pairing meeting each other and getting onto the racetrack and attempting to gel in one of the toughest regional competitive areas of the United States, if not world, when it comes to sprint car racing. If the rumors are true, let's just say, which I'm hearing it's 99.5% truth. I think it is very unfortunate. But I'll say this. I think it was, honestly, I honestly, when I look at it and the vibes I was getting when I was around the situation, it was euthanizing a toxic situation. I feel extremely bad that a dream for a person who has worked as hard as Callum has in his life, financially, personally, not only just in, getting his business going up to even be a race car driver and being the success level he is, but also the health issues that he's had to battle back from and the success that he experienced over in Perth. I feel extremely bad that a dream technically became a nightmare for this individual, Callum, that I've known for less than 6 months, closing in on it. But it sucks. I don't think that the talent level is as off as it was showing there. I think perfect pairings are hard to find. You know, a lot of people sometimes don't work together, don't gel. I know when I was over there in that area, just to what is going on here? I don't know why people are just randomly messaging me and blowing up my freaking page, but I think that it looked like Callum and the entire situation, there was a lot of frustration. You know, I could only, and some people may say, well, I should feel embarrassed because, you know, I partially stamped this deal to happen and it fell through. And there's a hint of embarrassment, but when you're Callum Williamson and you're used to whooping Brad Sweet's ass, and you're on this grand stage that Australia puts these sprint cars on, and you're doing the things that you're doing over there, and you come over here and you're a joke on the racetrack, people are making fun of you. You know, you're trying to drive it, figure it out. This is happening, that is happening. Things are being frustratingly hard. It's got to feel pretty embarrassing to be that driver as well. And sometimes, and I'm not saying that the 39, the Trone team, is to blame. Pairings just sometimes don't work, guys. Pairings just sometimes don't work. I mean, how many teams and different things? I mean, even time frames can be different. Look at Bill Balog last year with the All-Stars versus this year with the Outlaws. Almost like two different drivers as far as speed. You know, so it's like, was it unfair to potentially throw Callum into the PA racing scene? I don't think so. I think with the right situation or a better fitting situation for Callum in PA, that results in things may have been different. I mean, he did do some pretty impressive things to start. Maybe once there was an instant success, you know, changes are wanted here, changes are wanted there, and it's just trying to catch up and be the best right out of the gate. And I don't know. I mean, I remember I tried to speak up about, you know, maybe letting Balls do some stuff, trying to just get that combination over there working well with the 39 car. But this is a performance-based sport. People want to perform. They want to win. I'm sure there was a certain amount of frustration on both sides of the fence. And like I was saying, when this pairing first became about, I remember talking to Danielus, don't want to name drop, sorry. I remember talking to some very important people who doubted the success, but I had some faith, and sometimes faith can only get you so far. Faith got us here. Faith got him into the car. Faith got this car going around the racetrack, but the substance of the situation was not a success. And from my understanding, this pairing has split for 2024. I'm not sure what's happening going forward. I'd hope that this is not the last and only opportunity for Callum Williamson. You know, if you would have took him and maybe put him in the Houston area or Knoxville area, you know, he ran extremely well at Selinsgrove right out of the gate, performed very well. One of those flat footer style tracks, really just rip it style tracks. And then, you know, if you was to potentially throw him at a track like Houston's, which is somewhat of a baby Perth, you know, maybe somebody like him would be suited a little bit easier for the Midwest instead of these very technical, you know, Williamsgrove's extremely technical, flat, slick tracks that you have to have some knowledge on, or it's going to take a few months to get up to speed. And he was doing well against some people at those tracks. Let's not say that it was just 100% failure. There was a lot of failure, but there was speed shown. There was ability shown. But there's also pressure. There's also decisions. There's also choices. But from my understanding, once again, this is a split situation. I don't really want to talk about it too much. It bothers me being connected to it a little bit. And a lot, some would say. So, don't really know what to say. I mean, a little over a month. And the 39 car will be looking for someone else to drive, I'm sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on there. Who knows? See the YouTube chat, since people still want to continually blow me up with some kind of goose deal. Some kind of goose still. People keep hearing about Callum getting losing his ride, and that's all they're saying now to me. What's this rumor? Blah blah blah. I'm new to dirt track. Oh my God, Spike! I'm gonna can you, Spike, with your stupid rainbows. Spike, come on, be an adult. God. Be an adult. Get him a new ride. Like it's that simple. Like it's that simple. I think that's a very good point. You know, you have to, even though the PA situation wasn't ideal for a Callum, like if I had a dream scenario, it'd be Huset's or Knoxville, something that's relatively similar to the purse style racing action. But in the motorsports world, you gotta jump on it. If you get opportunities, you gotta jump. You got to go. You got to try. That's what happened there. So the car and driver combos sucked together. I guess that's what you would consider it. It didn't have the respect, I guess. Litton Jeffrey tore up a lot of equipment before Callum got in the car. That was true. What's the plan for Callum? I do not know. I do not know. And once again, just rumors. You brought him over here, Chaz. You got to give him support. What do you mean? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Regardless, how is Indy? Do you think you'll be going back? I probably will not go to. I would go to Indy for qualifying was cool. I would try to be in the area maybe for race day, but I would not spend the money to go there. I would just not spend the money to go there. No, 40 cars at Houston's is not that strong. You literally just had. Come on now, Mark. Who just won at Houston's? Who just won at Houston's, Mark? Strong field? Seriously, you let the non-wing guy come in there and win because nobody can pass. Nobody can pass. Just set him on the pole. Whoever takes the lead going into one is going to win the race. It's happened the last 2 years at Houston's High Bank Nationals, basically. Basically, without a door coming open and hitting the leader and a Toyota motor blowing up. Oh, well I mean, okay. I swear, or I thought maybe the non-wing guy didn't win. Are you sure about Tim Kading winning? Are you sure about Tim Kading winning? You're sure about this? Come on, Mark, respond. You're sure that's who won Houston's? Last night you were there. Tim Kading won. Okay, well, let's look up the results then, since you're so sure. Pretty sure you let the non-wing guys come in there and just slap you in the face. Destroy your field. I can't believe that's happening right now. Oh, who was it the other day? Who was it that came in there and won? Thought it was somebody else. Huh? Maybe it was Tim Kading. Oh, no, Dason Pursley. Pursley, that's who got it done. Yeah. Pursley. Oh, they must have had a 2-day show. Is that what happened the Sunday and Monday? So they had a 2-day Sunday-Monday situation. Okay. Now it makes sense. But still, you're going to say, 40 car. If Dason Pursley can win at Houston's, obviously he's driving for a really good team. I'm just saying, Callum Williamson could win at Houston's as well. I'm just saying, regardless. T Swank in the house. One night one, Kading night two. Thank you, Swank. Swank has arrived. Maybe if Tyler Swank was the crew chief for Callum, it might have been different. I don't know. Should Callum get another PA ride? I don't know. Maybe there might have been some homesick. I don't know. Was there some homesickness to the situation as well? I don't know. I did get the vibe that the PA scene kind of felt like, I even get the vibe when I go out to PA. You get there for a month or a week or two, and it's just like, how many hills can you go up and down, and are we ever going to see a city skyline or something? You got to understand, Perth is like L.A. Dason Persley can will. He could be a top. I'm just saying, Dason Persley ain't outdueled Brad Sweet and Rico Abreu at any racetrack in the world in a winged 410 sprint car. There's no comparison. So if Persley can do it, Callum can do it. Regardless, there could have been a multitude of reasons as to why that situation didn't work. Now, something I do want to look at before I let you in the chat just take away the show and overthrow it. Something I do want to look at is what happened. Hold on just a second. Okay, we did get some instant updates. Callum says, no homesickness. We are good. Gonna turn it into a holiday. So, I mean, it looks like we are getting confirmation on the fly. I guess Callum or somebody has tuned in that there is no homesickness. That's what is being said right now via Messenger. But the family is flying in. They're going to make it into a holiday. So at least they're taking, making wine out of water of the scenario. So that is good. That is good to hear. On the fly, turning a bad situation into a good one. Speaking of bad situation into a good one, did anyone else see this incident on the race? Hold on. Let's see here. Was Callum home sick or Trone sick? I'm going to have to put you again in timeout, Spike. How desperate are you getting? I'm just going to go back to the show. All right, we'll just go back to the show. So anyways, did anyone see this? This is about how this is about how I feel with this whole Callum Trone deal right there. Jesus, how about that hit, guys? Look at this. Meridian Speedway, asphalt 410 sprint cars, just pow. That's how I felt when I got that message earlier about Callum. Pow. So if you're wondering who the driver is in this situation, it was a very bad hit. We're showing a hit that happened. A guy hitting the opening of a racetrack, entering turn 3 at Meridian. Once again, one of those dangerous spots. BAPS had that situation. It was fixed, but some of these tracks, they still have it like this, and it's definitely not safe. But regardless, it was a situation where the driver is okay. Brent Collins, everybody keeps on just can't understand it. The driver's name is Brent Collins, asphalt sprint car driver. And Ashley Collins came on to here saying first and foremost, Brett is doing okay. He's going to be sore and shook up, but his safety equipment did its job. So the driver is okay currently. Now, something that did happen in the Australian situation is Jordan Charge has arrived. So I didn't know that there would be an exchange of Aussie talent. But Jordan Charge did just arrive. Of course, this is the Victorian driver of the Australian scene, and it looks like he's going to be running Western PA Speed Week. He was at the high limit event tonight at Grandview, but had some issues in qualifying. I mean, qualified badly and decided to load it up. I mean, it's hard. It's hard over here in the Pennsylvania racing scene. Now, it'll be a little bit different at Western PA Speed Week. Western PA, Central PA, not worlds apart as far as competition, but it's definitely different. A little softer. I don't think that's being disrespectful at all to the Western PA racing scene to say it's a little softer than that Central PA racing events. But I hear he's going to be at the Western PA Speed Weeks and Ohio Speed Weeks as well. It'll be definitely interesting to see how that goes. So Jordan Charge into the situation. Now, what we have to talk about today is what was this, guys? What happened? I just, this is the title of the video. I know we're 35 minutes in and we haven't hit on it, but the Callum situation is just, I don't know what to say. I did look at the edge of the bridge earlier today and contemplated. I definitely did. But what is this? what did we see here in this Grandview situation? You know, Tyler Courtney comes up here, running the bottom, passes for the lead. This is Grandview tonight. Who cares that the video gets flagged and I can't monetize it? I don't care. When I see this, what is this about? I went to Facebook and said, is Vegas testing the waters with high limit racing? Did he get radioed right here? All right, Tyler, you got to run second. We're testing it. Can we make this finishing order be approved for the DraftKings tycoons of the world? So you take the lead. All right, you got to finish second or worst. You can't win the race. You can't win the race, Tyler. It's on. The bets are against your win. You can't win it. Will not win the race. Tyler Courtney, 10 million. We got to move this money today. If you don't do it, if you win the race, Tyler, all of a sudden you heard about them, the Hillary hit list. Oh, you heard about the Hillary hit list, huh? You better finish second. You want to see tomorrow, sir? That's how it works in the basketball, football, other motorsport industry. That's how it goes, guys. So we see this move. Nobody can believe it. I think Chase Rodman almost started screaming. Unfortunately, we don't have his live audio. I think he said, "Oh my God, he goes to the top." So this is just ridiculous. This is definitely one of those sunset situations, I will say for sure. But upon further analysis of this situation, I honestly do see why Tyler Courtney went to the top of the racetrack. Now, once again, sprint cars don't have rear view mirrors. They can't tell what's going on behind them. And if you're Tyler Courtney entering turn 1 right now, you don't know if there's a guy behind you or not. You don't know what's going on. What you do know, however, is that there is 2 cars in front of you on the bottom side of the racetrack and a wide open outside line that just a few laps ago was fast enough to basically almost win the race without Brad Sweet making a mistake. Now, on the last lap, you may be thinking that you're going to be fast enough, at least, to hold pace with the bottom side, these 2 cars on the bottom on that outside line. And if anybody is on the bottom side of the racetrack, they're going to be stuck behind those 2 cars. So I honestly see why Tyler Courtney went and dropped it to the top side. I don't think he possibly knew that the bottom was that fast, that dominant compared to everything else. But that's how I think Brett Marks picked up the win, obviously. But I think also that's why, let me see. Let's see if we can go back a little bit more here. This is the interview. I want to see that last lap in live motion leading up to it. 12 to go. Dang, that went fast. 30 seconds and 12 laps. Come on now. 6 to go. Let's see here. Kind of want to see this in live action to see what Tyler Courtney actually saw. So this is coming to the white. I mean, look, the top is there enough for Brent Marks to be challenging and at least flirting with it. I mean, you can hear that motor and see that's what Courtney was saying. Once again, I drove a race car. I know people can't believe it. But when you're entering on the bottom and you're right there, you're out of the gas for Courtney and you hear that guy on the outside zinging. That's when you can tell when that guy on the outside is actually coming, when you actually get out of the throttle a little bit and you hear that guy on the top, he ain't getting out of the throttle. And especially in a sprint car where you're a little more open with the wind and everything's right there outside of you, you can hear that. So when you're Tyler Courtney and you hear a car zing the top like that, you don't know where it's going. All you do know is that you're stuck behind 2 lap cars right here. You're pulling them pretty good. The outside lane has been open. Those 2 guys ain't got off of it or off of the bottom. I honestly understand why Courtney went high right here. I just didn't think he thought it would be that off pace. And honestly, without that second mistake right there, off of turn 2, because you see he jumps to the high side. If he keeps it lined up right here instead of right there, the front end kind of hops and he has to jump out of it again, he may have had a shot. He actually would have probably won the race still. Because, I mean, even though he makes another mistake, because obviously at that point he's frustrated and sees that he got passed and made the wrong move. But upon further review, I really do understand now why Tyler Courtney made that move. And it looked like to most people, like even the chase, I believe this is the audio.
What is Sunshine doing? Goes to the outside.
Look,
of the racetrack.
Chase really says, what is Sunshine doing?
Might lose the second spot to Rico Abreu. Abreu into turn number 1. Kelly fast. What is Sunshine doing? Goes to the outside of the racetrack on the last lap, and Brent Marks goes by.
See, even Chase was surprised, but I'm telling you, just thinking about it, you hear that motor zinging there on the top. You're seeing 4 cars lined up on the bottom. If that guy's up top ripping it, you think you have a fair shot. And like I said, I really think if that front end don't hop like that and bounce around, he has to jump out of it. He potentially is up there right next to Brent Marks and still wins this race. Because you notice off of turn 2, Brent Marks, after Courtney loses speed, is able to just shoot straight up off the corner, and he doesn't even leave a lane up there. So if Courtney was on the outside of Marks at that point of the racetrack, I think he still wins this race. That little hop of the front end is what lost the race. More so, I would say, than Courtney choosing the outside line entering turn 1 and 2. That's just what it looks like to me. But it does put the question mark, gambling is the one thing in this sport that is missing compared to the other mainstream organizations. And if we are going to move sprint car racing into that mainstream, it has to encompass gambling, i.e. high limit, funny enough. We've heard about how Courtney loves to, at least rumors, once again, rumor mill, poker rooms and stuff. So it does raise the eyebrow. It does raise the eyebrow because these are the type of calls we hear about, the jokes and stuff on how money is moved. My interview with Jeremy Mayfield, we get to discussing the situation about gambling, and because he brought up, NASCAR was dictating certain people on pit road and penalizing them and making sure you finish a certain way. And I was like, well, that sounds bad if you just want to finish good, but what happens when you incorporate the gambling aspect into those types of decisions and movings around of people based on official calls? And then the news feed or the live stream we were on went blank. And then when he came back, he had shades on. It was a big joke, but something cut the feed. So regardless, we don't think of it we don't think of it like that's the case. But if the sprint car race is going big and high limit's going to be the one to do it, you got to start placing bets. And pretty much, I feel like in all the Dramatra situations of the world, it does seem like in the gambling industry, there has to be the element of, if we need this to happen, it has to happen. And if you don't have a sport where we can make what we need to happen, then you won't have a mainstream sport. So it's like you could conspiracy theory it up and say, well, like I said to begin the video, all right, Tyler, two-way radio, I'm right here. All right, you're leading. Marks is second. You can't. You can finish top 3, but you can't win the race. Jump high. Lift out of the throttle. Give it to him. Yep, hit the brake. There you go. All right. Get low. Or go high. Stay on it. Make sure you don't beat him to the line. Yep, make it a little. Yep, there you go. Just like if we're spotting somebody in NASCAR. Just like if we were spotting somebody in NASCAR. All right, coming to 1. Marks is high. You got to finish second. Go high. He's there. Lift a little bit. Give it a little bit. Yep. There it is. Yep. All right, you're good. Stay there. Second. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Bam. To the line. Interesting how the cookie can crumble. Interesting. No, but honestly, I see the logical explanations how I led that one off. That's how I really think it happened. I mean, that's what I have to say if I want to not encounter John Wick tomorrow. He choked, nothing else to it. Went high to clear the bums, and it didn't work. Wow. I just believe he screwed up. Well, they're selling it really good. Stenhouse fine being the same as Weichert payout. That is funny. Now, that exposes the classism of the situation. Big win for Danny Dietrich. I'm so glad Devin Borden proved that God is real. God is real, and we were shown that. Danny Dietrich winning it was great. Great race. Let's see here. Rodman needs to be back in the pits. That's so bad. When Donnie's ready to quit. High Limit is better racing than World of Outlaws, and the stats prove it. And I'll tell you what, Adam. You know, we have been on this, you know, the High Limit's deeper, you know, it's hard to run top 10 with High Limit, but it's way harder to run top 5 with the Outlaws in comparison to High Limit, just because you got 5 guys that are, you know, you can put them in the High Limit series and dominate the top 5 in points almost. At least that's what I was saying. Of course, bringing up the Weichert here, you know, David Gravel did go to the Weichert, and David Gravel got his ass handed to him. Now, David Gravel's not traditionally good at Port Royal, but it didn't look good when the roster that we're thinking, may not be able to beat him, put it on his ass along with the PA drivers. Now, look, I understand Port Royal is one of those local, you know, advantage-based tracks. A lot of the recent All-Star schedule and people who would be off during the All-Star races, a lot of those drivers would go over to Port Royal and PA to do some big money races from time to time, even if it wasn't an All-Star sanctioned race. Some of those bigger races, I think it was 2 years ago, the Weichert was an All-Star race, or 3 years ago, Tuscarora was an All-Star race. So obviously High Limit is the All-Stars plus some, and those plus sums did come from the PA. Well, some of them came from the PA area, obviously most notably Brent Marks. So it is a situation where it's rare, but you're David Gravel. I'm out here talking about how you're so much better than everybody. Maybe not Brad Sweet, and then you and Brad Sweet get your ass smacked up and down the damn, side of the Susquehanna River in Port Royal. Juniata County went Sandusky on your ass. Literally. I don't know what the hell to say. You were embarrassed, David. You embarrassed the World of Outlaws. I don't know if I can honestly sit here and say that the World of Outlaws is better than High Limit anymore. The only thing better about the World of Outlaws with the consensus of the results the other night, I don't know, loyalty? A brand? I don't know, though. I mean, if you would have had Macedo on the building tonight and Gravel, you know, it's a different track and blah, 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 blah. I wasn't counting tracks. I was just counting straight up rosters. Take them anywhere. That's supposed to be the thrill of being the best. You know, you take them anywhere and kick their ass. It just didn't happen. 1 year, the Tusky was Outlaw show and Donnie won. Yes, it was. He did. 23 World of Outlaw shows and 15 won from the front row. I will say the racing with High Limit is better. The racing tonight was just really, really good. The top 4 were under a blanket. They were putting on a show. I think the High Limit series is going to more action tracks. You know, I think quarter-mile short tracks put on really damn good racing. And the World of Outlaws have this kind of, I don't want to say track cartel, but they have their boys and they guarantee them a race every year. We talked about this years upon years, you know. It's hard to put the Outlaws at a racy track because they got these groups of owners and regional promotion groups that they have a guaranteed outlaw race, and it's a, you know, this, that, and the other, and you can't really get a race with them anywhere else, or this experiment or that experiment, because there's this like lineage of groups and cliques, and they're all going to get their scratch-off lottery ticket of an outlaw show every year, because traditionally, an outlaw show, if you have one, is a big moneymaker. It don't matter, you know, what day of the week it is, how it goes, what it is, it's gonna make big money. So the World of Outlaws, it seems like, haven't mixed their schedule up enough to really integrate more racier tracks that I think High Limit is having to go out, find, and rely on. And that's honestly what I think. Now, Grandview, traditionally, I mean, it's had, what was it, PA Speed Week events, some All-Star events, I think, or was it just traditionally PA Speed Week only, I think? So Grandview's always put on a really good race, though. It is one of those perfectly worn-in tracks that does widen out. It's got a history to it. It stayed around for a long time. It was supposed to go under a few years ago, but it stayed around because of how much support and how good of a racetrack it actually is. So, I do think though that the high limit races have just been better, and maybe that is a mix of a format, guys. Maybe the high limit format, even with their stupid little spinny wheel deal, and how they're lining up with just a 4-car invert or this, that, and the other, is actually making a difference on the overall show, the overall event. Because, at least the fast qualifier, even though he's locked into the dash, there's a little bit of a race for position. There's a little bit of a reason. There's a little bit of a movement in the heat racing action. And I'll say this right now, being from Indy 500, I don't think even the World of Outlaws boring-ass format in the dirt racing world, none of our dirt formats are bad. The worst formats in the world are oval asphalt formats for 200 freaking laps. Those ain't races. Those are endurance events. It's like a triathlon. It's just boring until like the last 100 feet and we're almost there. Every dirt format we have is so much more entertaining. It blows my mind now. I have a whole new appreciation for dirt formats just in general, and Supercross, another large format with a similar or large stadium sport with a format with an abundance amount of people, because some people like to hate on the dirt format. Oh, well, nobody goes. Well, we don't race in stadiums of 60,000 seats, and our sport's not marketed correctly to even get to that point. But regardless, there is successful mainstream sporting events in the racing world like Supercross that use somewhat of a heat race main event format, because it's short spurts of passing based, racing based action. It don't matter that it's broken up into 8 laps or 10 laps or 2 minutes or whatever. There's a sense of urgency to make drivers want to pass on the racetrack, not wait for strategy on pit road to make up the spots. So all of the dirt racing, all of their formats are better. But when it comes down to this conversation, I do think that one of the reasons, even though it seems minuscule, and people said this with the All-Star format, they say the high limit format is basically the All-Star format. I think that All-Star mixy just how high limit is the All-Stars with a few extra names or sprinkles on top. The format is the All-Star format with some sprinkles on top. That combination of lining up heat races and transferring into mains and dashes and all that, I think is what's making the difference here. I really, really do. There's no other way to explain it. There really isn't. I think the Outlaws are going to have to do some things, because High Limit's got some things going on for them right now that I didn't even see coming. It's not only that they have these, lists of drivers or the backing of Kyle Larson or any of these things. What they really have going for them here recently is their racing is good. Their main events are putting on shows, guys. They're racing, back to the product on the track. The product on the track, the visual-based product of what's happening on the track with High Limit is just better than the World of Outlaws. Taking the names out of it and all that, the actual entertainment of the product is better with the World of Outlaws right now. I can't deny it anymore. I can't deny it. I could want to be supporters of the Outlaws and all this stuff, and I have to be, because I can't support a series that supports that guy on the racetrack at all. We got to really hunker down on who we allow to go to the next level. I think they're going to have a big issue with that here very, very soon. But the High Limit racing product is just better. It just is better. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't want the Wolf or Flo to win. But y'all, if you, once again, you want to sit back, we're the big badass Outlaws. You're going to get eaten alive by the Wolf. Okay, you just sit there. All right. Okay, don't do nothing different. We got the brand. Okay. Well, Bloomington, Indiana, don't know who the fuck Steve Kinzer is, buddy. Just saying. What's an outlaw? You mean the biker gang? All right, quick hits, and then we'll get into some comments. We're already 55 minutes in. I have to talk about some of this stuff. Sorry, guys. We'll get to some. Maybe we'll do some call-ins. I don't know. I have my new rap song coming out called "Ready to Rip." Going to be filming the music video or some clips of the music video at Beaver Dam this week. So if you're in town, be ready to be on it. Australian sprint car racing. So back to respect. Sprint cars to race at the Adelaide 500, which is, I believe, a traditional supercar event. They are going to build a dirt oval in the circuit. So mixing the high level speed or supercars, which is the NASCAR. It's road course racing though. The top form of road course racing, the top form of oval racing, on display in Adelaide. They're going to build a track at the event somewhere. It even says somewhere inside the circuit, and they're going to race it. It's going to be an invite-only event, though, but it is in a time frame to where it even says here, World of Outlaws and High Limit Racing seasons make it possible for U.S. stars or U.S.-based Aussies, such as James McFadden, to take part. But it is going to be invite only. There is a few supercar racers that run sprint cars, and I'm pretty sure they're going to try to set this up to make them look really good. Of course, Cam Waters is one of the best ones they have, but he's still very average in a sprint car. It'll be very interesting to see how that invite entry list takes place. In the sprint car and Kyle Larson world, it's a world of its own, ladies and gentlemen. People are getting very upset that Kyle Larson is getting a pass, not only for winning the Rookie of the Year at the Indianapolis 500 after finishing behind another rookie all day long, pretty much ran behind him and finished behind him in the actual race. But then also NASCAR giving him a waiver. Apparently they're going to give him a waiver for the Coca-Cola 600 because he never technically turned a lap, so he missed a race. Therefore, he should be disqualified from the championship season. That is already making him more upset already. And I guess Kyle Larson isn't going to race Grandview. And are they potentially going to give him a waiver here? The unfortunate situation here with High Limit in this midweek money series, are they going to give him a waiver in this championship? Because I believe they have a drop night. I believe they have one night. Their worst night is dropped. But this is a no-show. Apparently, for those Grandview fans who thought they were going to see Kyle Larson, it's not like he missed this for the Indy 500. He missed this for a Goodyear tire test at Iowa Speedway. So, okay. I mean, he did say he was going to miss the race almost a month ago. So this shouldn't have been a shock. Shouldn't have been a shock. Just saying, guys. Just saying. I know I saw some people, why is Larson not here? So there's it. There's the explanation. Be mad like the other guys. Be mad like the other guys. And then, of course, you have Chase Briscoe, who is sad, crying right now. Hold on. All these people on here. Oh, my God. Look at that. We went to a black guy. That shit already got to Kevin Woody. Kevin Woody's actually supposed to be on the show this week. You have Chase Briscoe crying on Facebook. He doesn't know what he's going to do about a racing career going forward into 2025. Of course, Stewart-Haas Racing announcing they are closing the doors for 2025 last season this year. Of course, NASCAR in their charter system. It'll be interesting to see how much their charters are worth. I'm assuming they're going to be up for sale. And it's also going to be interesting to see who's going to move into the sport. If you have another party or person or entity wanting to get into NASCAR, this is somewhat a perfect multi-team operation to purchase and move into. And that's usually how this charter system works. It ain't like they quit and close doors and that's it. Usually they put their whole entire operation, just like in the dirt world, up for sale. And when somebody buys those things, they get all the equipment and the established buildings and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see if somebody is who is going to move over into the NASCAR racing industry. I think that's going to be the more interesting thing to see develop in this. Some people are saying this is going to affect TSR, Tony Stewart Racing, and the sprint car racing industries. I think what we have to understand here is this racing thing is a hobby for a lot of these people. Yes, there is business involved. But I think for a lot of these guys, think about the money. Penske, Hendrick, I mean, Joe Gibbs. Think about, some of these people, Michael Jordan, is this like their lifeline to live by, or is it something they like and they're spending money in it and they're hoping to make some money, but it's more so I like it, so I'm doing it for the fun. And I think that's what you have here with Tony Stewart. Stewart-Haas, I think he was doing it for the fun, the competitive element, but it still slid into that hobby category. I think a lot of the racing activities for Tony Stewart slides in to that hobby, fun-ish category. I think that's why you see him in Top Fuel, because he's having fun. I'm sure riding a Top Fuel vehicle is badass. Y'all keep making fun of him and Leah and all that. Oh, that's why he's y'all can do all that, but I'm sure it's pretty damn fun to go that fast, that quick. I think Tony Stewart still loves and has fun in being involved in sprint car racing. I think Tony Stewart, this is all just me speculating, I think Tony Stewart doesn't like NASCAR. I don't think Tony Stewart liked NASCAR much at all. I think Tony Stewart drove in NASCAR to make a living. And I think it extended past that when NASCAR was somewhat profitable. The partners he had were so much financially involved that it made more sense. Maybe he had some older people in the industry that it was kind of a deal that everybody got together and worked as a group. And there was relationships, and I'm sure there's still a lot of relationships that are going to be, affected through this, but I'm sure some can slide over that are important into other categories. I just think Tony Stewart don't see the fun at the end of the day in owning NASCAR cars. I don't think the hobby for him is enjoyable. I still think the hobby for him in Top Fuel is enjoyable. And I still think the hobby for him in sprint car racing and dirt track racing is still enjoyable. He has the Eldora freaking Speedway, guys, and it's still there and still works. I talked to him last time I was there when he was running around on his four-wheeler. He's still running around Eldora on his four-wheeler enjoying dirt. He ain't doing shit like that at no NASCAR events. He ain't doing, looking at the track, talking to the guys, figuring this out, talking to this, doing that at any NASCAR events. This dirt thing is still kind of the grassroots foundation to Tony Stewart's love for motorsports. So I don't think this NASCAR thing is really. I think it developed in his career to a money-making situation, and I think those things spurred into these organizations. But I just don't think he likes NASCAR much. Respects it maybe, but you don't like it. Why spend money? Why make a hobby of something that you don't really like? Or maybe the direction it's attempting to go, this, that, or the other. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to affect TSR Tony Stewart racing on the dirt tracks. I think that's something that Tony Stewart still continues to love, and it's going to love going forward into the future of his life. And he'll also do the drag racing. Although sprint cars are kind of like dragsters on dirt, It's true. It's true. We're the fastest things on the dirt oval. Just saying. All right, we'll go to the chat. Let's hear some rebuttal. Let's do it. Are we going to be doing calls? Oh, no. I'm not MPA. I am in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Don't you think Tony will jump out of the shots team and get out? No. My answer is no. I know people are saying differently, but I'm saying no. Stewart tired of losing money in NASCAR, and I don't think he loves NASCAR. I don't think it's a part of his life. If Callum wants to call, we can have it happen. I just don't know if he wants to call. We can try. Let's see. Keep your chats coming in. Thanks for the super chats. I know we had a few already. Although links in the description to join the support, we could definitely use a direct support on Venmo or PayPal, especially right now. I just went out and did Uber for 4 hours and made like $30. Worst Uber I've had in a long time. Let's see. Fan funding, super chats. We had one earlier. Let's see here. Oh, wrong one. That sucks. All right. Will you be at Lawrenceburg on Friday? I'm sorry. No. Sorry. I'm doing my own double where I'm visiting Kings Island the first half of the day, then to the high limit race in the second half. Would you be interested in doing the same? Damn it. What is this? I thought they weren't going until 30. Oh, they are going 31st. Damn it. I'm sorry, Alexander Stegall. I'm actually a very long drive from that area. But thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. I wish I would have known a little earlier. I did try to stay in Indy. I didn't get any support locally at all to stay in the area, though. Unfortunately. Okay. Spike, just stop. Stop it, Spike. Let me see. I don't know why my Facebook keeps saying my request can't be. Maybe it'll be like. All right, we'll see. We'll get your live decline. Y'all will be declined live by Callum. I wouldn't want to talk to y'all, especially with Spike's ass being in here under an alias. Who would want to hear from Spike? Steven Seagal. That's what I thought, Mark. I really did. Let's see here. Liam has a good point there. 23XL gets one charter. RFK gets one for Chase. Dell Jr. buys two. Dell Jr. getting into NASCAR is something that they've wanted to happen for a long time. It is something they've wanted to happen or wanted to make happen. Supposedly, you can now only have 3 teams, but grandfathering in 4-car teams now. Well, they need people who want to spend money. Gravel is a glorified qualifying machine that has not won a race outside of P4 since 2019. Is that a stat? Is that a fact, Adam Outlaw? Like, that's not a lie? Like, has he actually won or lost? He hasn't won a race outside of P4 since 2019. Is that a stat? Did you find that on the Dirt Trackers website with the stat analytics? How does he say it? Stat analytics section? I should do like a cameo of Dirt Tracker one day. Just do like a little 8-minute video where I look just like him and talk just like him. It is very easy. It is very easy to make that video. It would not be hard. He has said no thanks, guys. I'll send the little broken heart emoji. Let's do that. Let's do the broken heart emoji. Should we put the dog with the cry face? He said no, guys. He said no. Sorry, he's declined your requests. Chaz should have an iRacing event with viewers. We are still doing this undisputed sprint car championship situation. I don't know if y'all saw that RTJ undisputed belt that I made. But we are doing this between the two the Ricky Thornton Jr. undisputed belt at Gateway. This was when we presented it to him right here. Ricky Thornton Jr. belt that he actually did wear out on his intro because Ricky Thornton Jr. got screwed. He really loved the belt. And since we're technically not going to have a points champion in here's the actual clips from his walkout onto the intro at the Dome with the belt on at Gateway. So I made this belt. It was a surprise. I walked up in there looking like a WWE superstar. Hold on. Let me see if I got that picture. That would be hilarious. Let me see if I got that picture, how I looked in the mirror. This was posted an hour ago, so my show's only been going for an hour and 10 minutes, so I don't feel as bad as before. I guess that's why I was getting... We had the same idea. Look at that. Look at that, bro. I need to get the blonde hair back all the way again. I need to get those shades. Bro, wrestler all the way. Hold on. Where's the full? There's a full frame picture of that. This is going to make Cuddle cream his pants. Let's see here. Where's the full? It's somewhere in here. Hold on. We're going deep. We are going deep. Let's see here. Dang, this is a lot of stuff. Oh, I didn't post it. Oh, there it is. So that's the belt with my dumbass. That's how I walked up into the dome this last 2023 dome. But you can see the belt. It's a snakeskin belt with the gold custom bladed that he wore out there onto the intro. And once again, the reason this belt was made was because Ricky Thornton Jr. got screwed out of the Lucas Oil Late Model Series title, and he didn't have a championship. So I was like, all right, well, we'll make an undisputed late model championship belt. I designed it all up with the Chaz logos on there, and it's got in the circle there, Ricky Thornton Jr., undisputed 2023 undisputed super late model champion of the dirt world, Ricky Thornton Jr. So we're going to be doing this for the sprint car division here in 2024. And the events, I'm thinking of skipping Houston. There's a lot of reasons as to why, but I got to pick the events, and I got to have a point system that is correct. My point system is not going to be like the World of Outlaws. It's not going to be like High Limits. It's not going to be stupid. My point system is going to be smart. My point system is going to be knowledgeable and understanding how to make things shift in a very fast way. I don't want one guy to just get out, and if he gets too far out, there's going to be handicaps. So, for instance, I'm thinking right now that the races to count on this battle championship, undisputed sprint car championship belt, sprint car world championship belt is Huset's, all of Eldora week, Knoxville. I want to put I-55 in there, guys. I really want to put I-55 in there, but I don't think I can. But I'm going to have to put the marquees. All of High Limit week and World of Outlaw week at Eldora. Knoxville week. Then I want to put the Lernerville Silver Cup in there, because that's the 50K at Lernerville that I think almost everyone who's anyone's going to be at. David Gravel will probably be at that race. David Gravel with High Limit. You got Port Royal the way. You're going to get the 2 High Limit dates at Eldora week, and then you're more than likely going to get the 50K at Lernerville because he won that race the year before. Why would you not go to that event? And then National Open week, and then also World Finals week. So what is that? 5 events where you're going to have pretty much everybody of everybody from both sides at guaranteed pretty much, outside of maybe the Lernerville event. But I'm pretty sure that's a pretty solid 5 events. We could just make it 4. 4 rounds is pretty good. What's that? Huset's. What did we say? Huset's High Bank Nationals, Eldora week, Knoxville Nationals week, National Open week, and World Finals week. I think those are a safe 5. We could do 6 with that Lernerville situation, but 5 nights to decide the Sprint Car World Championship of the world, or something like that. World Sprint Car Undisputed Championship. What would be the best name for that? Because Super Late Model Undisputed Champion, World or Sprint Car or World Sprint Car Undisputed what would be the best way to say that? Sprint Car Undisputed Champion kind of sounds kind of short. I don't know. How should we calculate that? Should we throw World Finals out the window and only count the last race be Pennsylvania Williams Grove National Open? Should we do that? And then we award the belt of the champion at Charlotte? That's a potential idea as well. That is a potential idea as well, but I think it's really cool. It's going to be fun. My point system is not going to be stupid. My point system is going to be smart. And like I said, somebody gets too far out after 2 races, you're handicapped now. If you're 200 points ahead of everybody going into Knoxville week, after Huset's and after Eldora week, if you're going into Knoxville 200 points ahead, you now have to beat everybody else by a certain amount of points, or you get deducted points. Oh, no, you're not gonna. It's not. We're not here to make it easy on you, David. We're here to put on a fucking show. We're in the entertainment industry. This isn't the David Gravel give me a check and a championship industry. This is the entertainment industry. So if you get too far ahead, We shoot your ass in the ankle so that the other people can catch back up and put on a show. We ain't going to just watch one horse run away from everybody else. That's not how this shit's going to work. So the point system, there's going to be handicaps in there if you think you're so much of a hot shit. Anyway, that's how it's going to work. I ain't worried about fairness. I'm worried about entertainment. Too bad the people up top don't see it the same. Too wrapped up in catering to the car owners and these people and that people instead of where all the money's actually located in the fans. None of them figure it out. They don't understand that the fans pay the bills. Catering to everyone but the fans. Or the new fans, or the marketing aspect of entertainment that it actually provides. I can't wait to show this point system off. We are going to be getting that. It's going to be the best point system in the world. You're going to be like, oh my God, why? That's not fair. When did entertainment ever include the word fair? The fuck you talking about? I know when I watched, Stone Cold beating up Triple H, the referee got distracted all of a sudden and, Vince McMahon came across with the chair and hit Stone Cold in the back of the head. So if you get to whooping too much ass, David, on the racetrack, or Brad, we got to hit your ass over the head with the chair to put on a fucking show. Anyways, where's the comments to that shit? Let's see here. Chaz, you wanted Gravel to go to port and dominate so you could swing on his Regina. No. Is the dip chick in chat or what? Wow, y'all are disgusting. Almost as disgusting as that chick putting a dip in. I don't know. I've done the fake dippers. I ain't ever done the nicotine, actual tobacco. I've never put that in my jaw before in my life. My lip is sideways due to the umbilical cord being wrapped around my neck at birth. All my nerves on this side of the mouth are severed, similar to Sylvester Stallone, very Gerard Butler, two of the people that had the same thing going on. But yeah, it was very interesting to see that by a female. That shit was gross. Almost puked when I watched that snap. Yes, thank you. When is Dietrich going to race go-karts with you? I'm never going to be in PA again, probably, so. When Brady fucking Bateman beat the Outlaws 2 nights in a row, you were crying about the Outlaws are trash. When did I cry about the Outlaws being trash? That's not true. You're a liar. I saw that Chaz was getting with some girls in PA and was with Callum and a girl named Nicole. This is a lie. Thanks a lot, Spike. You're such a liar. Spike / but why are y'all saying Bubba Army? Is Bubba the Love Sponge in the chat or something? Cuddles, why are you so interested in Chaz's personal life? Wow. This is sad. What's interesting is in my point system, you'll actually be given points. We're gonna pre-race handicap people. So like say Kerry Matchin shows up. Well, he's gonna get 10 more points in finishing position than David Gravel or Brad Sweet. Just like right out of the gate, he's gonna be awarded 10 more points. The belt cost, the one I did was around $300, but I did all the designing, the customization designing myself. So, if I was to charge that, it'd be at least another $300. So, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're just going to do it. If you went down the points line, high limit versus Outlaws, what side are you picking more often position for position? I don't know what to say. Honky Tonk, you put thoughts with a question mark. I don't know what you meant. I'm looking for your comment here. Have you seen Bobby spin out Ricky yet? Did that happen tonight at Macon? Did Bobby Pierce spin out Ricky Thornton Jr.? Chaz, going to Beaver Dam. Yes, I am planning to go to Beaver Dam. Yes. I don't know where I'm standing. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know where I'm sleeping. I'll be in this very cheap hotel until Friday. He Pierce. So Ricky Thornton Jr. spins out Bobby Pierce. That's awesome. That is awesome. Bobby Pierce does get, and I like Bobby Pierce a lot, but he does get into some people pretty often. Let me see if I can find it. Where's it at? Where is it at? Is it up anywhere? Is it on Facebook somewhere? Hope RT, somebody just put on Facebook, Hope RTJ gets punched in this cocksucker. Wow. Wow. So that now, apparently that Adelaide 500, hold on, let's just browse Facebook. That'll be cool. You know, I never seen this before, just browsing Facebook while you're looking at stuff. So apparently that Adelaide race is sponsored by the team that James McFadden races for, so he'll be there. That'll be interesting. And that is Napa Motorsports Asia Pacific. Oh, what did he say? Sixth at Macon. This is Bobby Pierce's Facebook post. Sixth at Macon, crazy evening. Led the first 37 laps. Thought we might have got the win, but hard racing ended our evening. Looking forward to more hard racing in the coming weeks. Congrats to Ricky Thornton on the win and Jason Fager on a strong second. Thanks to all that support me. Couldn't do it without you. So this was Bobby Pierce's post 28 minutes ago. What is happening here? Oh, let's look at the comments. Live action here. This is great. Reading the comment sections on Facebook. How could it get any better? You let them run on... trying to read the dirt late model sentences, dirt track fan sentences on Facebook is probably just as hard as pretty much anything. You let them run on those little bull rings. Someone is going to get the horn. Part of racing. I have to say it how I picture him. Amy, there's a woman race fan? Oh, my. I've seen you give that same slide job. Same drive. Oh, she's getting at him. The women in the late model industry, they do got some attitudes. I had to deal with one of them. Great person. Great people, though, for real. Same driving style in many, many races over the years. Only difference was you wasn't on a go-kart track. Damn, she's getting all snazzy. If the track would have been a little bigger, everything would have looked and been different. With the exclamation point. Wow. Everyone on that track had hard racing. Everyone but Fager had damage. Had to fight back some more the once. See, this is what I'm talking about. Had to fight back some more than the once. I'm guessing she meant to say than once. You had 0 damage. You didn't have to battle it all. Pretty easy, boring race for you until someone was able to get enough laps consistently without a caution to catch you. The way the race was going, if anyone had the chance, they would have taken it. Safe travels. Damn. She was all like, fuck you, Bobby Pierce, in the comments, bro. She was pissed. She does not like Bob. Women, for some reason, I don't know what it is. They don't like Bobby Pierce. Maybe because he's attractive and it reminds them of the boyfriend or a guy they couldn't get with in high school or something. I don't know. I'm thinking by him saying looking for more hard racing in the coming weeks that he will get his revenge. Samantha's in here stirring the pot. Exactly. That's what I read too. Oh, shit. Read between the lines. They're saying, oh, Ricky Thornton at it again. Oh, my. Somebody posted a picture of Bobby Pierce being dirty towards Ricky Thornton. And then we just get a little clip sent to us on the messenger. I guess we got some people watching the show. Got a clip sent from Rob. And this is the clip. Okay, first of all, Bobby Pierce just stepped on his dick. Opened the door for Ricky Thornton. Oh, that wasn't bad. Come on. Is that really what we're talking about, guys? Is this really what we're talking about? That wasn't bad. That literally was close, tight racing. Oh, and then he swatted at him. Well, this is where Bobby Pierce haters, I mean, I kind of see where they're coming from sometimes. Come on, can I not rewind this? Do I have to refresh the page to get it to restart? That's all I can say to that, to be honest with you guys. That's all I can say. No, Spike, I know about late model racing. You fucking idiot. You better not step on my dick. Come on, Cuddle. Stop. Let's do call-in so we can be up till 5 in the morning. Yes, Spike is Cuddle. If you haven't figured that out yet, I don't know what to tell you. Somebody says RTJ has some juice on the tires. Oh, my. You know what we got, though? You know what we have? When you see the white screen, you know what that means. Oh, my. The call lines are open. All right. Very quick. I know I say this every time. 30 minutes, you son of a bitches. We are not going past 30 minutes. It is an hour and a half into this call-in session. And we are not going past 30 minutes. 525-298-7691. No boring callers. If it's boring, we are hanging up on you. I hate to disrespect you. My name is Hayden. I live in Des Moines. I'm 27. Did I say ASL in the fucking AOL chat there, Cuddle? Shut the hell up. He. That's so weird. That's so weird. Cuddle is... Are we there? Did we pause? What happened? We were gonna call and it all hindered up. Are we back? All right, and we're back. We didn't even lose a viewer. Wow. For the love of God, Clark, don't call in. That's funny. Did you hear about Danica's top 25 in the Kyle Petty charity ride? Her team was proud she finished. Well, I feel like that's a Danica joke. If Spike ever comes to Cali, we fighting. Oh, shit. Spike's a pretty big guy. Hold on. Do I still have the Spike collar? I mean, Spike's a pretty big guy. Those arms are pretty big. They are pretty big. If I was to fight Spike, honestly, man, I don't really kick guys in the balls, but you can't fight Spike. I put the beast chassis behind him for a reason. If I got into a physical altercation with Spike, I would feel like I would need some kind of weapon, like a knife, something that can damage him severely, very quickly. That's what I think. The live caller, 525-298. Let's see it. I need to put the dirt stuff. There was from the Danny Sams. I need to put my new background in there with the dirt. Still got the gray on this graphic here. All right, I guess nobody's calling. I guess nobody is calling. Mark says Spike is hot. Wow. You would definitely need a gun for a fair opportunity. Somebody said the hotel Wi-Fi is jacked. This whack. This one is not. This one is not a bad connection at all. It needed me to re-sign in, and that's what happened. But it's possibly some of the fastest internet I've ever been connected to be honest. It's 70 megs down and 86 up. Most of the time, it's 20-ish down and 5 to 15 up. This is an extremely fast... Oh, audio's bad. Hold on, what do you mean? Is the audio bad, seriously, or is that just you? I can end the stream. It is an hour and a half in. We should just end the stream. Let's just end it. We've had a good show. The emotions have went up and down. Where's the number? All right. Bam. There's the number. It's on the screen. Let me check my Tinder while y'all call. No luck. Waiting. We're literally sitting here waiting for someone to call. No one's called yet. Not at all. Somebody going to call today? I mean, the number's on the screen. It's so bad. I guess this is a sign we should just get into doing other things. I guess we missed a call. Got a new voicemail. Maybe I'm not able to receive calls on the hotel internet. Maybe that's what's happening. Oh, I think that's what's happening, guys. Or maybe the connection dropped or something, and that's what's happened here. Hold on, let me see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello.
Yeah.
You're on the line.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, Chaz, this is Brian.
Okay, Brian
I think
Webb.
yes, sir. We've talked a few times. I think we had that one time that we went off on each other about, what, I guess last summer?
Possibly.
Yep. So tonight I'm not caught up on. Been working. I'm actually still here. But, I've been wanting to call in for a long time.
Okay.
And you can probably go ahead and give me a rundown how tonight went. I saw the whole Tony Stewart thing, but you said TSR also. What is that part?
What do you mean?
Is it just the Stewart-Haas part that's going away?
Yeah, but people think that since he lost the NASCAR money that he's pulling out and he's not going to be able to have TSR anymore. And I'm like, that don't make no sense to me.
No, that's two whole different companies.
Right. I just think that Tony Stewart's getting out of NASCAR because he doesn't like NASCAR.
NHRA?
Possibly.
That would be my guess. Now, is that right? Or is it, it is the same team. Why would you have a Ford motor and a Mopar and TSR on the same company?
Yeah.
That'd be a less headache, because that's all backed by her.
Well, you got Ford that's invested all this money into starting the team again. So with the motors, the Ford motors, all the money's being invested. So I don't know why that would happen.
They still got the 26 car.
Well, I know
that could be their flagship.
Well, so what? Now they develop a Mopar motor and take years to do that?
They're there, aren't they? Or they have that guy?
They don't have newly developed. They don't have newly developed Mopar motors for sprint cars. They got old ones that are, Mark Kinzer age.
Okay, yeah, I see that. I can see Mopar wanting to do something like that. They're into the horsepower.
Yeah, I think if that was to happen, Donnie would just be done. I don't think he's going to sit back and...
I think you're correct. I don't think Donnie would want to go through that again.
Right, because you'd have to do it all over again.
Correct, and if at his age and what he's done, there's no point to do that. No, I 100% agree on that.
He would just go focus on the nieces and run the business, call it quits.
Yeah, which I wouldn't blame him. At this point, that Ford motor, he's been running a lot better this year than with the last two-ish, right. I guess. But it's still nothing. That's nothing that Donnie's done over the years. Joe, I think that's age? No, because there's a lot of guys out here of older age, and at least in 410s that
right. I don't think
still do it good today.
Well, and after our talk, he said that the telemetry had finally told the Ford engineers what he'd been trying to verbally tell them, and that's why things have changed. Yeah. So.
Yeah, even look at, that 12 car that Lance Deweese is in isn't the best car we've ever seen him in, but he still drives, that car. I grew up going to I've been to Port a handful of times, but I grew up going to Lincoln and the Grove all the time. Right. And as that 12 car came around, that was a bit of back marker even at local shows for most.
Yeah, because the kid
times,
used to drive it, right? Brent Sure.
Yeah, I feel like it was the son, and I feel like he still drives it some because Lance is only part schedule. If I know correctly, from PA, I keep up with PA. I just don't live there anymore.
Well, it's the Hollywood of sprint car racing.
It is. I mean, I don't think if I didn't grow up there, I don't think I'd love the sport as much as I do.
Right.
Because that's what we did. We drove an hour to go to the Grove. We drove in 45 minutes to go to Lincoln, and I could be at Baps in 25 minutes.
So
30 minutes most.
Alex super chatted $10. Thanks a lot for the super chat. Any update on Corey Day's next asphalt race? Do people care if Corey Day goes to asphalt?
No, that would be bad.
You think it'd be
bad.
Well, I think they're grooming him to replace Kyle. You got to have somebody that keeps the dream going,
I feel like that would be the next Buddy situation.
Well, but Buddy came in too early. And he's not attractive. He's not attractive like Corey Day.
Yeah, I guess you can go with that.
I think that's what's really doing it. They want some little hot shoe in there, some kind of looker that they can give to the old men and pay the bill.
Yeah, I mean, you go that way, but I don't know if he's. Don't get me wrong. Beginning of this year, the boy drove amazing, but sometimes I wasn't up at Port this weekend, but my dad was just talking to him. He was like, it just looked like that boy Saturday night was just trying to drive over his head all night.
Right.
And he's trying to push it harder than he needs to. And I feel like he's probably got too much pressure on him right now with everything. It wasn't like the beginning of the year. There was no pressure, I don't think. I think there's something's definitely changed in that camp over the last, month or two when he went on that winning streak, and it's kind of like falling apart a little bit here.
Right.
So I wonder if, there's maybe that is the next work, and he's getting too much in his head, and now he's psyching himself out, and then he's going to, maybe that's
well, but if he gets on asphalt, you don't have to be that good to win on asphalt. The competition level's so much lower up there because it's just a bunch of rich people. It's not like it's the best of the best. It's the best of the rich.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely, because look at Larson not running this. Larson didn't run the 600 at all, got 0 points, and he's only down by, six points now?
Mm-hmm.
Missed the whole points race?
Yeah.
And wait, what's that going to give him next week or 2 weeks, and he'll probably have it right back as long as it doesn't tear the car up or something?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and NASCAR is going to give the waiver.
Yeah.
Because if not, no one's going to tune in because Larson's not racing. Or not racing, but not racing for a championship.
Well, all the dirt fans only watch, on Saturday or Sunday. I feel like if you don't have Larson and Bell in there, you don't have all the dirt racing fans watching for sure. They're only pulling a 2.5 rating, so 2.5 million are watching a NASCAR race. Let's just say there's 500-ish thousand active dirt fans. That's a quarter of the rating. They don't want to lose it.
I agree. Yeah, they are. Well, look at Indy. What did they go up just in qualifying alone?
Right.
Larson was there. And I'm pretty sure whenever NASCAR ratings for the 600 comes out and then Larson didn't show up, I bet you they dropped. But they're only going to show what initially showed. But everyone knows he was at Indy. So I bet you the ratings for the 600 dropped because he wasn't even there.
Somebody said, why hasn't David Gravel made it to NASCAR? William Byron did it from iRacing. What's the holdup? It's not like he's afraid of standing on people's shoulders or faces. David Gravel had the opportunity to go to trucks. Unfortunately, COVID happened. He qualified, I believe, 10th with 0 practice at Charlotte, and then ran 14th in the race with 0 practice after having some kind of issue on pit road. But going to NASCAR is completely monetarily based. You could be the starting quarterback on a NASCAR team if you have enough money to pay your way there. So if you don't have that money, you're stuck racing dirt. So that's, look at Bell and Larson. They had to have multiple of millions invested into them through corporations or private funders to even get them to where they are. So Money is the name of the game. This is why I don't put Larson over everybody else either, because I understand Larson had money invested into him.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you go back and look at what he's doing on the dirt side, I mean, he's still. Don't get me wrong, it's not every night. This year's been a struggle,
right?
But he's always ran half decent. I mean, I remember watching him as a kid and stuff. Like he's always ran decent.
David.
I mean, no one just knew his name until he got, he said the N word, and then
yeah, it is crazy how the N word definitely changed it all.
Yeah, it did too. And then he went off and won 70% of his races or something like that.
Somebody said, look at Kinzer. He went to trucks, then back to dirt. I hate the Steve Kinzer reference. It's so funny. They started that 23 team with a experimental Kenny Bernstein wanted to get into NASCAR. They started a make-start team, took Kinzer from sprint cars straight into cup racing, gave him 7 races in cups, and then sent him back to dirt and said he wasn't any good. Kyle Larson did like a whole season on K&N, then did like 4 races in ARCA, and then like 15 races in trucks, and then a couple more races in Xfinity before he even touched the cup scene. And Kyle Larson's actually a great example of how Kinzer's example is a joke, because on asphalt, it's that race car. And on asphalt, you're riding in the cars. In dirt, you're driving them. You can't drive those cup cars at all. You're at the mercy of your equipment. Kyle Larson was considered not good enough for NASCAR at one point when he was in the 42 car. He only won 6 races in 6 years. I don't think the N-word made him better. I think he finally got into a good car at Hendrick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how your opinion would be on this one, but this is when I think of like people like Jeff, like Gordon and Tony, and all them talking. They knew when he was in that 42 car that he was better than that car.
Yeah,
you can hear the way they talk about him.
Well, and you could
even
tell
Gordon says, because when Gordon raced, he was in the 42, and he said, other than Tony, that's the best guy he's ever raced against. He just said it out this week.
Right. Somebody just said
he knew it.
Somebody just said, or Alex sent another super chat. Thank you, Alex, for the 2 super chats. If you have PayPal or Venmo, those will help as well. I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding. Chaz, is there less of a
I don't blame you, man.
Is there less of a PA posse versus the World of Outlaw feel when it comes to high limit PA races?
I mean, look what Danny just did.
Yeah, but I think he's saying in the aspect of I think he's saying in the aspect of like hype. PA posse versus the Outlaws. I don't think they got that hype with high limit. I would say no.
It's not like it was in the early and mid 2000s. I think it would help if Freddie was better when Nationals came in. Freddie sucks other than local racing. If he's not at Lincoln, he's terrible. Freddie is terrible unless he's running Lincoln. And even when Outlaws, or I bet you if High Limits went there, which we all know that's not going to happen for at least right now, but Freddie won't run with them. What do you do? What, he didn't even make it through the C, I don't think? Or did he not make it through the B the other night? Like, the boy can't race against anybody else other than the guys he knows, and it's at Lincoln. And half the time, if now he got no Brett Marks, don't get me wrong, huge Brett Marks fan. I love seeing Brett. I love seeing all these boys. It's not like it used to be when you had Fred. You had Lance in a better car than he is now. Don't get me started on the Kreitz thing. I think they fucked him over. And that's probably the nicest way to say it. That's the way I think it went.
Really?
I don't think it went well.
Was it a Callum Trone situation?
Why would you get? What? I did see that on your thing when I clicked on to look, like to see that you were live. Did that go bad just of running set? You got to give that boy time. This is not the same dirt as down there.
Right.
Like, you're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got some good drivers down there. You were just there. I can only see from afar. Would you consider that a PA level, or do you consider down there bigger? I think the
tracks over there were that Callum was running, which is Perth.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a master of those style of tracks, the PA tracks were definitely harder to get a handle of. Because, I mean, Williams Grove's extremely technical.
Yeah, because Williams Grove, don't get me wrong, it's a big track, but you have to race it like a short track. Those turns, there's no bank. I mean, there's banking, but it's nothing like some of these tracks out there. You have to run half mile like you're running a short track.
Right. And Lincoln.
When those guys go, you've been up there. If you go into 3 and 1, you're slamming on the brakes. Like
right.
You're on that thing.
Right. And at Perth,
there was
not a lot of use of the brakes at Perth with the cushion on the wall.
But there's no really tracks like that in PA.
No, exactly.
I wish they would have kept him for Knoxville.
Right, which was the plan.
Knoxville, I think, would fit. It would fit. That would fit him probably.
Right. I mean, he ran 6th at Selinsgrove right out of the gate, pretty much.
And that would that would make sense too.
Yeah, on the throttle tracks. I think
in my eyes, don't get me wrong, that 39 car hasn't been the greatest thing in the world since Doug Esch in my eyes.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, it's had its good runs, but it hasn't been like I remember growing up watching, Doug Esch drive that car, and that thing be top 5 almost every night. I don't think the car's the same.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, the guys might be getting older, they might be falling behind on the rest of stuff. You can tell, like some teams, they do start sliding over the years. Does it suck? Yeah. Because, these are the cars I grew up with. There's a lot of cars up home or up there in PA that they are not there anymore. That were the good cars. And that one was one of them. Now it's a mid-pack car, even when you put someone decent in it.
Yeah.
I think Callum's good. I watched those races of him out there and keep track, and, he's good. But in my eyes, I know you like Callum. I like Callum off of what I've seen. Is he like a Freddie situation where he gets something new and he struggles? Where
right.
Freddie can't go outside of his box of his little bubble in Abbottstown.
I think you could take a driver like Callum to Huset's and really do damage almost initially.
I could see that, and then I would love to see. Is there any open weekly area that he can go run a 410 at Knoxville?
Yeah, the Houston. Well, I don't think there is, but the Houston's Knoxville areas probably would have been really nice.
Yeah, I think him running Knoxville against those boys every night to get ready to run Knoxville all the time. Because don't get me wrong, he's really good at perf. He runs it all the time. You got Brad that came down there, and Rico came down there, and he ran them like crazy because he knows it. It doesn't matter how we all know dirt changes, but he is in that situation that he knows all the different ways it changes. Somewhere like Knoxville, you sit down there and you run this track over and over and over again to get ready for the big race. I don't see a reason why he can't easily make a B. Why not make the back of the A? Or maybe lock in on points or something. Getting used to it.
Right.
They're sitting here backing him when they're bouncing from Williamsgrove on Friday to Lincoln or Ford on Saturday to Baps or wherever on Baps or Sealants on a Sunday, and then back to the same thing the next week. You're not. When you're trying to learn the dirt and everything on top of the car, you're hitting 3 different types of dirt or 3 different types of tracks, probably 3 different types of dirt in 3 nights. How are you learning?
What was what was that car owner's name? The 25. I used to talk to him. The one that McHugh was going to drive for. What's his name? That's the one that Pursley just won in. I can't believe the name's slipping.
I can't think of that one either. I know exactly what car you're talking about too.
They won Houston's.
They won Houston's the other night.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, is Houston really that big? I don't really think Houston doesn't seem like that great of a track. Yeah, it's got some banking to it. Like, it could be a good track, but it just seems like it gets grooved out to where it's 1 lane, mainly.
It is a 1 lane
Everyone sits
track,
up top.
for sure. I just think that
everyone's on the wall.
Well, but that's what Callum's used to, so that's why I would think that would be a better fit.
That would be a better fit, but like when it comes to, race-wise, I don't really care for it.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
I like Port, man. They had 53 cars there the other night. That was an insane field. In my eyes, that's an insane field when you see, Lance DeWeese that has 120 some wins up there, wins the C main.
Mm.
Like, that's just showing you that's a field.
Yeah.
And then he drove up a 6th in the B. So I guess they figured out that car late, but I heard he was slow in hot laps.
Well, that's how it can go up there very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. And I think that team's still learning. They never had a caliber driver.
Right.
How are you supposed to get anywhere if you don't have any caliber in a car? I'm sorry, not to be rude to his kid or anything. You want to go racing, dad's son thing to go do, but at the same time, you're trying to make money, go run races or something. You need to go put someone in the car that can at least get you started.
Yeah.
which I don't think they're there, and they haven't been there. That car's been around 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it is now, and it's never been up there until Lance won the night before the Outlaws were supposed to come up, and then that Friday before for tune-up, and I think that was the first time they won a race. I think it was the first team win.
Right.
In 10 years. My eyes, PA is not as rough as it used to be. I wish it was. But I would say there's, 5, 6 cars every night that are top guys up there. If you're taking the 27, 27, he's running that 8 car now or whatever. You got Danny, Macri when he's home. Well, I guess them 4. Who else is really winning? Yeah, Wagelman's in the 27. So, yeah, who else is really winning up there?
Right.
No one. You don't really have anyone else. It's not like it used to be. It used to be you see 30 cars show up on a Friday night for $5,000. And shit, fucking 20 of them be good. You don't got it no more. And I think it's the money in the economy.
Yeah, Eikenberry is actually Brandon Eikenberry is that. Sorry, I was trying to find out who that 25 is.
Okay, Eikenberry. Yep, that's right.
Brandon Eikenberry. I just sent him a message. I don't know what the driver situation is like, but I do think that would fit. Of course, that was the car that Lockley McHugh was originally supposed to drive, but McHugh backed out. So.
Yeah, you just wanted to stay home this year or something?
I think so. Yeah.
And then I heard, is this McFadden's last year in the States?
That's what I've been hearing.
I thought I heard that. Yeah, I thought that's the rumor I heard.
That's what I've been hearing.
Which is very upsetting.
Well, he's done it for a long time, though.
He has, yeah, that's true. He was he was in the 9 car for a little while. He was in, he's been in a bunch of rides over the years. I'm trying to think of all of them off the top of my head, but he has been around for a long time. So I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Probably it's time to go home and get to hang out with the family more. I don't blame him at this point. Yes, he didn't go win a title, which I think he is caliber, but look at the Outlaws. How many, they've been doing it for 30, 40 years now, and 10, maybe 12, 13 different champions, all these guys that just ran the boards for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donnie took over, 10 and 11 years, and the only one in there was Pittman that took that one. And then if you look at when Steve Kinder was on his run, you had Blaney, his brother had a couple, and there's maybe 1 or 2 other guys in there that snuck in a few, but that's about it. A lot of these guys, they didn't really, don't get me wrong, those guys are fucking good. But where we didn't get this, a lot of people are like, oh, he wasn't as good as Steve. Well, how the hell are you supposed to be good as some guy won almost 1,000 races?
Well, it looks like some people are saying Pursley's in that 25 here going out, so. I thought he still had midget commitments.
That's what I thought, yeah. I thought he'd be still running USAC stuff.
Yeah, he still has non-wing commitments I'm looking at, so. I don't know what's...
Off what I looked at, it's probably a good thing you didn't go to the Little 500, because it looked like, was it Swanson? He's led every lap in what the hell is that series called now? Silver Crown this year?
The big cars?
Yeah, the Silver Crown cars.
Yeah.
He's led every lap, and the 2 of them were 100-lap races.
Oh yeah.
He led every lap, and the other one I forget what it was. Yeah, he led every lap this year.
Yeah,
so how the hell are you supposed to compete with that either?
Right.
There's another guy running the boards.
Right.
And there's some names in that field too.
Yeah. There is.
Do you think Bacon? Here's another question I had. I've been wondering. I've been pondering this one. Do you think Brady Bacon goes full-time wing car and leaves USAC?
I did an interview with them. They just said they don't have the money or the motors
to do it.
Yeah, I had those interviews. I just ain't had nowhere to. I ain't had nowhere to sit down and make the videos. So.
Well, that would have answered it. But no, you're good, man. Hey, you've been traveling, getting to see some cool ass stuff, and hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's
sometimes you got to pull away from the.
yeah.
Sometimes you got to pull away from the computer and go check out everything.
Sometimes you got to
pull away from the computer and go check out everything.
Not if you can't afford to.
No, I feel the same way, dude. My government paycheck doesn't pay very well.
Right. Yeah, somebody said
So
good to see
I
DP
get it.
doing well. Definitely, yeah, personally when he got the injury. So I definitely, I didn't know that if he has the ride for a year, I'm not trying to take it from him at all. I just, I thought he had USAC commitments.
Yeah, no, I would have thought so too. Which, I mean, has he really ran that good in the USAC stuff? He's had some good nights, but nothing crazy. Everything's good, guys. You can get out of here. But yeah, like, I haven't really seen him do nothing super crazy over the years.
No.
He had that big wreck, made his name.
Oh, they get a lot of the talent, you know, they get stuck in that non-wing world, and there's just nowhere to go. Non-wing destroys careers faster than anything there is.
Yeah, because it's not as popular.
Well, it just doesn't pay.
No, it doesn't either.
You know,
don't get me wrong. I think I've only seen non-wing a handful of times. I went and saw him. I saw him up at Port Royal. It was the last time I was at Port Royal, and I actually got to see Greg Hotnet won his last 410 race, or 410, just won his last race at Port before he died later that year.
Right.
And they had what was it, the East Coast and whatever the hell they called it. The Eastern Storm came through, whatever they called it. And one guy came off turn 4, and that car went straight backwards because, you know, no wings holding these things down. Comes off 4 and flipped it backwards going straight. And after that, I was like, all right, I have respect for these guys, but they don't make shit.
No.
Yeah,
that's a big problem.
really, if you really think about it, local 410 guys, they ain't making shit either.
Yeah.
Like Lance won when Lance won that tune-up the night that weekend before, it was $6,000 to win.
Yeah, it's a joke as far as pay.
Yeah, no.
But anyway.
And I know how you're like with like the NASCAR sponsorship coming in and all that with like the Spire on the 7BC. I'm not going to get in the whole Courtney thing, but with that, and then like, you know, Hendrick on Larson, which anywhere that would be a thing anyway. But like stuff like that, maybe that would be good. I mean, we have seen a Trackhouse car, sprint car at the World Finals before.
Yeah, didn't Trackhouse
maybe it would be a good thing then to throw some money out there. Maybe they'll bring fans. Like, don't get me wrong. Maybe to help it blow up, you get some of these NASCAR fans seeing these brands that they know that help out.
But didn't NASCAR partner with, or Trackhouse partnered with Shane Stewart? That's that little click with Justin Marks and all them. It's like a little click.
So was that a Shane Stewart car and just a Trackhouse sponsorship?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Or was it? Oh, okay. But even something like that, like maybe that, don't get me wrong, we don't want to see, you know, maybe we don't want these NASCAR fans, all these NASCAR fans that are, you know, don't really care or whatever it is about the dirt side, but maybe that will bring people over and be like, huh, this racing is better.
Yeah, I think if they get a taste of it, it's pretty easy to see it's better. But it's the respect factor that has to stay intact, I think, in that transitional period. Yeah.
Like I've been to Bristol, like I've been to Richmond, I've been to Charlotte for the 600 over the years. But like nothing's like going to the Grove for a local night and just seeing when they go into sitting on the backstretch and seeing the way they go into 3, and you're just like, that's wild.
Yeah. They really take it in there.
Like there's nothing better than that.
Right.
And then the first time I ever went up to Port, like I've only been up to Port like once or twice. But like just seeing that, just the speed there compared to the Grove or anything that I've never seen before. You're just like, holy crap. That's ripping.
Yeah. They ain't playing around. Or entering turn 1 at Port.
Yeah, exactly. Going in 1 or 3, wherever at Port, just, yeah. I mean, hell, they bought up like 6 or 7 of them a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wilder than watching them guys go in on the start of a race. You don't ever see that anything like NASCAR or anything like that.
Yeah.
You don't even see that. You don't see that with Indy. You don't see that with anything.
Well, and that's why Indy didn't really impress me, I think, because I just experienced so much. Like maybe to regular people who don't go to racing events at all, that's a sight to see. But to me, it was just like, it's not like he's side by side throwing sliders on the wall. You know, it's not that daring.
No, I agree. The only thing I think is wild about Indy, one, the prestige, I get it. It's been around over 100 years. I get it. But the thing with Indy, that impresses me. The thing that impresses me the most, I think, is qualifying. When they showed Larson hitting, what was that, 3 at 240?
I thought qualifying was cool just because of how interactive the fans were with the event as well. They were like in it. Everything mattered.
Yeah. They were so.
Like the TV misconceived that a little bit. The TV made it seem like they only cheered for Larson. Like they were cheering for the other guys like almost more.
Yeah. Well, their guys have names.
Right.
Like that's their guys have names to them.
Yeah, but it seemed like TV kind of turned the volume up when Larson did well, and it was like cheering for him and no one else mattered, but that just wasn't the truth.
Yeah, well, TV can, they can always turn up crowd noise.
Yeah, manipulate it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, I'm going to plug you into the car.
Oh, you're driving right now?
I'm about to be. You there?
Where the hell are you going at 1 a.m?
I'm going home.
From work?
I just got off work. Yeah, a 12-hour shift.
Really?
Yeah, you got to fly helicopters at night?
That's true. You do have to fly helicopters at night.
I got one for you. Well, since we're a little off topic now. We're the only country that flies them at night.
Is it illegal in other countries or something, or what's the deal?
They don't have the They don't have the training for it.
What do you mean the training? I would feel like there's some kind of autopilot
like flying
involved.
At night, like flying in combat at night is not a thing with helicopters in other countries.
That is different.
Right? So that's what gives us an advantage as Americans. Something that simple.
It's flying at night.
It's flying at night. I mean, don't get me wrong, all the weapon systems and everything that we have on here too is kind of wild, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm an Apache mechanic. That's what I work on.
Those are the baddest things in the air, right?
When they work, yes, absolutely. They like to break a lot.
Well, what happens when they break?
I fix them. I fix the crap out of them.
So when they break, is it true a lot of people get killed in training exercises?
Right now, yes.
So people are getting killed actively right now in training exercises.
Yes, there was one about, within the last month. There was an accident that went down. The pilot survived. They got messed up pretty bad. But luckily where they landed was near other people, and they were able to get them out of the aircraft before the aircraft went up in flames. But yes, there has been a lot. This year alone, I could probably think about 4 or 5 aircraft, and that's not counting a buddy I lost last April.
Dang.
And he was up in Alaska when that one happened.
Wow.
Yeah. That one was more pilot error of another aircraft, but lately it's been more of a parts failure type of situation that the company of the name, I don't really like saying out loud, isn't fixing. So Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew it was happening
I got
so
pilots
often?
every day. They ask me to. Yeah, it happens way more than it needs to be. And lately, it's been just a tail rotor blade coming off the aircraft.
And then that basically spins it into the ground?
Yeah, it takes it into a tail spin.
Right, because the tail kind of balances the leveling system of the.
Yep. Yeah, it does balancing and you're turning. Like, that's how you can go left and right. So what's happening is it's pretty much losing that. And then off what I've been explained from very experienced pilots talking to me and explaining stuff so I can kind of understand better what I'm working on, is if they're not doing a certain speed, if they're going lower than a certain speed, then when they have 0% of saving themselves, it's going to happen.
Wow.
And if they do, or if they are at that speed, they have a half a second to react, or they have a 0 chance of catching it.
Damn. That sounds like a lose-lose scenario.
Yeah. Well, in an Apache, if you go down, mortality rate's about 98%.
Wow. And that's happening often. Who's responsible for that, though? What's the company with the contract to build those? Is it Northrop or who is it?
It's Boeing.
Boeing? I was about to say Boeing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Boeing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a Boeing aircraft. But yeah, like
so they're taking taxpayer money and killing our soldiers due to quality control with our taxpayer money.
Pretty much. That's what I mean. You never know.
Are the defense contractors just that comfortable with making money?
I believe so.
And then they hide, and this is why I get upset with not the Trump rhetoric, but the support the troops rhetoric, because when I hear support the troops rhetoric, and we have all this evidence financially of the bullshit happening within the system of the military and just all the contractors and everything, when I hear support the troops, I hear support the defense contractors, because if money was allocated properly in our defense, it seems like we wouldn't have to worry about supporting the troops. They would already be supported.
Yeah, because we don't get paid shit.
Right, so who's getting all this money? The defense contractors.
Correct, to pay for these $30 million aircraft or whatever else we have.
Right, and then, like, when Trump first got in the office and was blowing everything up that he could, but the business scheme in that is if you spend a bunch of shit, you have to replace it. So it made more work for the contractors. And then when Biden gets in the office and leaves all of our equipment behind, I don't really see it as, he's just an idiot. No, we are getting rid of inventory so that we have to pay more money to defense contractors to supply it. Resupply, a new order.
Yeah.
So,
Well, another thing is, my opinion is, did they just let them sit there? Because, one, no one's enlisting anymore. No one's joining. They're having very bad troubles, military-wise, getting soldiers to come do this. Or getting anybody to want to join. Like, they always say the 1% of the 1%. Well, it's even lower than whatever that number is.
Well, and that's why they're trying to be more lenient and open to transgenders and all that, hoping that somebody from that community will join.
Yeah, I guess so. Trump kind of screwed all that over, which is probably, less taxpayer pay, in my opinion. But, because he took away them getting their surgeries or whatever.
And didn't Biden sign like a historical veterans bill? I remember looking into that. When I was in Australia, I had a debate or a discussion with one of the people from the Anzac community, which is the Australian military. We're talking about how much better they're taken care of in Australia, and I went to go research how bad our guys were being taken care of, and that's when I ran across the Biden bills that were like historical for veterans of America. But you never hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we don't hear that. You know, politics is about playing the sides, not fairness.
Yeah. I mean, think about, all right, like I've been married now here for a few years now, but when I first joined, I wasn't. And when I went through basic training as, you know, a brand new private in the Army, you know, E1, my paycheck, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was in training, I wasn't paying for food or any of that stuff, but my paycheck every 2 weeks was like $530.
Right.
Every 2 weeks.
Somebody in the
I
comment.
just live off of $2,000 a month.
Well, and it's bullshit in itself. Somebody just commented and said, would you want to see RFK in the debate if either one even happens? I mean, I was all for RFK. People keep telling me he's a socialist. What? Do you know anything about this? I mean, I love everything I've heard from RFK, but then I hear this socialist explanation. My first response to the socialist explanation would be, did you not just hear us talk about how this military situation operates with the complexities and the contractors and all that? That's socialistly funded is the military. I hope everybody understands that, you know. There's a lot of fakeness in the word socialist or socialism-based funding. You know, policemen and firefighters is socialism. The money going to your military-industrial complex is socialism. So when you start talking about socialism for maybe, I guess you're talking about citizens that should deserve some funding. I mean, when you're blowing the shit out of money to the situation we're talking about, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to keep, you know, some people not homeless. I had that debate, you know, with people who were talking about, you know, government assistance people. I think there was a Dr. Phil video about, he was explaining how people in government assistance only make about $1,000 less than somebody who works on minimum government assistance. So there's not really a big gap between somebody who doesn't work and someone who does. I was making the explanation that that's a problem. Like, we should be funding people enough to not be homeless, but those who go to work should be making significantly more than those who are barely getting by. You know, Australia, their economics work very well because I believe they're more capitalist than us. I think we're a corporate-based communism, personally, or our corporations dictate our politics, and they just mask it as a fake democracy, and they own all the puppets on the screen. And you see that with how the market moves and how it goes, and the complex I just talked about and everything like that. So those are the people that actually run and dictate things, is the corporations, your State Streets, your BlackRocks, your military industrial complex, who have all the big guns that if you piss them off, they can turn them on you. So I don't know. When you say socialism, I just hear, what are you talking about? We already have socialism. I just hear a lot of people talking out of a fucking Fox News or CNN asshole. They haven't went and researched and looked into anything themselves. They just listen to a fucking TV screen, man. That's what pisses me off with politics. Nobody's actually going and looking up anything for themselves.
When it comes to politics with me, I'll watch and see what they're saying, but I don't watch just one person. I watch all of them, and then I read. So
right.
You can fill in the holes that they're not filling.
Right.
How else are you supposed to learn this thing?
Well, unfortunately, the sheep of the world that control most of the votes, they don't think like that. It's fucking sad.
Yeah. Like, I might watch something, and then I'll try to see if I can find it on another channel, and then I will go and look it up and read multiple different articles from multiple different sources and see what they say, so you can piece it all together, because you know some of it's got to be in there bullshit or whatever it is.
Well, it's all about good people hating good people through manipulational tactics, I think. I think there's good Democrats, Republicans, good white people, good black people. Yeah. Probably there's good transgender people, but as long as we can put them into the boxes and separate them between the classes just based on what they are identify as, then the bad people on the TV screens manipulate the good people to hate one another. You know, I think the newest battle on the screen that we see not just on the TV screen, but the social screen that the algorithm is pushing, is male versus female. I think that's a really big manipulative-based war that's going on. Because it used to be black and white, you know, it used to be visual racism, but now that's outdated. But if you, and then they tried to do, and they still do the Democrat-Republican, but you got to talk to somebody to figure out if they're Democrat or Republican. Now, they do try to profile you with identifying Republicans with country guys in trucks and, you know, identifying Democratic people with multicultural divide or women or something like that. But you got to talk to them and actually get to know them before you can find out if you should hate them or not. Where I feel like if they can get you to hate man versus woman, that's the biggest one of them all. You know, that's the... You obviously just increased your numbers more than even black and white, because it seems like there's a lot of black and white men who can sit there on their podcasts and agree to hate women, and there's a bunch of black and white. I'm just using black and white for an analogy, not necessarily saying that's the only type of men out there. There's obviously I'm saying there's multiculturals.
Yeah, I agree.
That are agreeing that men and women are bad, and I see the TV pushing that, and the you know, the Andrew Tates and this side and that side all the time, man. They're pushing it all the time. You even see it with the Harrison Bucker, the kicker or whatever. That was all about, that whole debate was man woman.
Yeah. But to my eyes, that one doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't even get where you can come with that. Because in the world, you can't even survive without man and woman together.
Well, but if you can get them to hate one another, that's definitely making God look down upon us. If you can get man to turn on woman, you've basically went against your own entire race.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
The human race.
I exactly know what you're saying.
RFK2, I like him the most, but I don't know about the socialists. Once again, to answer the question, I do think he should be up there. Unfortunately, his voice does seem to bother people. I don't know why, but his little stumble of his voice and his gargle definitely bothers people. Somebody said true capitalism wins every time. The problem with capitalism in America is it's not capitalism. It's the failing portion of capitalism back into the corporate communism. I think they're masking a corporate-based communism with the ideology of democracy. Because I look at Australia, once again, I hate to reference it, but back to the inequality between those who don't work and barely get by and those who work and barely get by. In Australia, if you're a fucking gas station attendant, you get $40 an hour. I met coffee baristas making $50 an hour. You know, it's like go ahead.
Is the prices of everything out there more expensive?
They're about the same as California. About the same as California. That sounds high.
And they're making way more.
But they're making $40. Yeah, exactly. They're making $40 an hour. If it was $40 an hour to be a gas station attendant with California prices, that's way better than California prices at $20 an hour.
Yeah, it's that. Or that's probably the minimum out there now, right?
Well, yeah, my point. And then people bitch about it being the minimum. And then here's the kicker. The only reason the minimum wage is where it's at is, guess what? At least I experienced this in the South. All these motherfuckers talking about people jumping the border, this, that, and the other. When I was growing up in the 90s and was a kid and dealt with the construction industries and all this stuff. My dad was a construction electrician, a commercial electrician. I was in the conversation with the owner of the companies and stuff. All these little small fucking business owners that are so complaining about immigration, y'all were the motherfucking ones that were hiring illegal immigrants to save money back in the day, paying $4 to $6 an hour when you should have been paying $15 to $25. And that's why people started coming over here to begin with. And y'all profited off of it for years, and the minimum wage never properly rose with the cost of living because of y'all taking advantage of illegal immigration.
Yep, and now it's all jumping at one time, and it's fucking all the economy up.
Exactly. It never properly rose. And I'll tell you what, a big difference. Back to capitalism, I think that Australia learned from a lot of the mistakes of America. because you
I
don't
think
see.
a lot of places are learning.
Well, you don't see a fucking McDonald's in every town. Like, there's little towns out there. McDonald's wants to come and move in. But if there was already a burger shop that'd been there for 50 years, they reject the entry of the business into the town. They protect their small businesses and their own little economic systems. You know, that's when I see these posts about
Which is awesome.
Right. When I see these posts about like Dollar General closing 500 stores, or all these big corporations closing 600 stores, or Marshalls or whatever, well, who fucking...
Yeah, what's that taking out? What, 10%? Was that 10% of their stores?
Well, they should have never fucking built them in these spots to begin with. They were oversaturating the markets. Yeah. They were killing the small businesses. They were weakening the local economies. You know, I mean...
I'm surprised we haven't even seen that with Walmart yet.
Yeah, they were destroying that. What the plan wasn't to have in my opinion, the Moloch way of looking at it. The plan wasn't to have a multitude of successful little businesses across every little small town. The plan was to destroy all the small businesses in every little small town.
Yeah, and just have the big corporations run everything.
Right, and then that's where it goes back to China potentially being a big-time enemy of America, because a lot of those businesses that opened up little places in every little small town that destroyed the little small economics of every little small town of America, when you trace the financial backing of those companies, they did go back to Chinese-based ownership groups. So, although I guess people never researched that China emperors don't plan 5 years like a businessman or 10 like a politician. They plan 50 and 100 years in advance. So when they were moving in Walmarts and all this stuff 30, 40, 50 years ago, the plan is coming around the corner in 10 or 15. We're just in the midst of it.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Which is how you should plan. You shouldn't plan for a short term. You got to plan long term.
Right. You got to get through 3 generations so you can manipulate society as well to jump on board. It's a Trojan horse. It just takes more than 1 generation to happen.
Yeah, you got to make that name known around the family or whatever is a common name.
Somebody just said what Chaz is saying about minimum wage would put every small local business out of business. Not if everything properly rose. Not if everything properly happened. You should be blaming. Go ahead.
Say back in the 80s or whatever, like starting there, we were at what $7, $8 an hour or whatever, and then it went 10, 15, now 20, whatever. It jumped like 5. Maybe every 2 to 3 years from then, if it would have came up 25 cents to 50 cents every 2 years to 3 years or something like that, we would have hit $20 an hour by now anyway.
Right. It just didn't properly increase.
Which it would have made it work out so we would be in the same boat, but no one would bitch about it because we would already been prepping ourselves for it coming.
But back to his small local businesses point, the big corporations are the ones that walked off into this damn country and killed the profiteering of small local businesses to where it would put them out of business. You know, so that's the back engineering deal, is now all the small businesses are saying if you increase to this certain amount, the small businesses are going to die. The corporate businesses are the ones who can't afford it. This is a 50-year plan, guys. Yeah, what you're saying is correct. But what's happening is wrong as well. This is checkmate. Okay? That's what this is. It's checkmate. Unfortunately. In an economical war. Which most wars have always been economically based. Wars in the past were for territory that had fresh water and food. You know, now it's just different.
100% agree with that.
Somebody said I'm getting $900 relief from Newsom. I was not paying $6.40 a gallon for diesel. Somebody said China owns Jegs. I don't know how this is happening, but they're saying this.
China owns Jegs.
Diesel is $3.89 in some spots in Pennsylvania. I did notice recently, and here's another thing, the tax scheme with these gas prices. When I was driving around in 2019, I could almost tell when I was going state to state, like how much prices of gas would switch between one or the other, like how much one state costs more, costs less. And I'll tell you, I know that gas has went up over the last few years, and y'all been blaming Joe Biden and COVID and all this stuff. But I'll tell you what, there ain't no jumps between the states like there used to be. The states are way closer now. Some states that used to be lower are now more. And everybody's kind of went up as far as the differences. So what I'm saying there is, like, the gas price itself didn't really change. The taxes from the state departments, because the federal tax stays flat. The only difference between the gas prices from state to state is the actual state taxes. So what's actually moved over these years? Has it been Joe Biden? Has it been all this bullshit that they're trying to tell you? What's actually happened is these state representatives have used Joe Biden, have used all this bullshit to distract your mind to the left while they increase taxes on the state level significantly, because the gas taxes are almost the same now between border to border. There's not much of a jump anymore, and there used to be significant jumps between some of these states. I was driving through them. It's not the case anymore.
Yeah, so I lived in Colorado from 21 till end of last summer, and then now I'm out here I'm in Georgia now, and what was it, the summer of last year, like this time last year, I was paying $4.99 a gallon for regular to come out here, and I know they're up. It dropped down some before I left, but I heard, like, talking to buddies out there and stuff, it's back up close to that range again. And I'm, 330, 340-ish around here in Georgia.
So it hasn't changed in one state, but it changed in the other?
Well, like, I'm paying, $3.40 out here, $3.50, whatever it is. We're in that range here where I'm at in Georgia. But when I was in Colorado, I was paying almost $5 even for a gallon of gas.
Okay.
But you got to think about a state like the southeastern state of Georgia compared to a Colorado tourist-based place like I was in Colorado Springs, which is just growing nonstop, and just being there 2.5 years, I watched it change, which is wild, because that should be something you should see over a decade or something. Not what I watched prairies just turn into developments and all this stuff, and just wildness in 2.5 years of them just bumping all this money up because they're getting all these California people moving out to these areas like there in Texas or wherever else they're going, and just making it to where, like, someone like me making small ass paycheck living in an apartment out there and not the greatest neighborhood to be like 2.5 years. I didn't even hit 2 years there, and I already signed a piece of paper to get my ass out of it because I was like, we can't afford to even go out and eat dinner somewhere nice or travel.
Right.
Go see some pretty sights. Like, we drove out to Aspen. I paid in Springs. I paid $4.20, $4.30 a gallon or whatever to fill up the car to go. We drove out to Aspen during the summertime, and yeah, I think it was like $4.40, something like that a gallon. Drive 4.5 hours over to Aspen, which we all know is a very touristy, rich area, and these people are paying $6.30 a gallon at like the 2 gas stations in town.
Wow.
In a 4-hour period. Yeah. Just for some, don't get me wrong, you're walking down these cobble streets with all the highest name brand stuff you can freaking think of. That, if I even look in there and my freaking wallet falls out of my pocket because there's nothing in there anymore.
Somebody in the comments is talking about methanol versus gas prices. Methanol doesn't switch mainly because methanol contains zero petroleum. Petroleum industry does not affect the methanol industry, even though it is the same companies that own it. But at the cost of oil changes, it doesn't affect methanol. Methanol, technically, a sprint car is the cleanest green racing vehicle in the world. It's a zero carbon emission vehicle because methanol does not burn carbon emissions. Regardless,
why don't we go that route?
I tried to do that. I tried to push that, but the TV's got the Republicans convinced, man, that that's a bad thing to say that. You know, it's bad to say zero carbon emissions. That's a trigger word. You know, the snowflakes melt on both sides of the aisle. It's you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But the gas point I was making with you, though, is like, say you're in Georgia right now and your buddies are in Colorado. One day, say your gas goes from 380 to 392, and you're like, oh my God, it went up 12 cents. How the state taxes would operate in that, how I was talking about how they were leveling out. Say the gas price in Colorado was $4.30 and your price in Georgia was $3.80. All of a sudden it goes to $3.92. You're not in Colorado, though. You don't know if it's went up 12 cents as well. What I'm saying is that your state or these states have been increasing their state taxes. And so even though yours may have went from 380 to 392, that Colorado gas stayed at 430 the entire time. You're just you're just closer to what they're paying now because your state slipped in taxes, and then they just put on the TV, blame Joe Biden, and you believe it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I grew up right on the Mason-Dixon border in southeastern York County in Pennsylvania, right? So right on I used to work in Maryland or work in PA when I first got out of high school and all that. I got family right there on the border. That's where I grew up, right inside PA. I grew up, 18 years old, whatever, going to work. I had to stop at 2 gas stations on the way to work every day. You got cigarettes in Pennsylvania because it was cheaper on taxes there, and then you got gas in and afford the Pennsylvania gas prices.
Right.
And people like at work, that lived when I worked in Maryland, they look at me and go, you stop twice every morning? Yeah, stop twice. If I need gas, I'm stopping twice. Otherwise, I just, I'll stop at the one right here by the house in PA or whatever. But unless I need gas, I'm going to stop again in Maryland because these 2 gas stations that I'm thinking of are 5-6 miles apart in 2 different states. And there can be anywhere between a 20 and 55 cent difference in gas. 6 miles down the road. And the people in PA probably that live right there in that small town or whatever that just stay in Pennsylvania and don't really travel down to Maryland, they probably have no idea. Or they work from home or something and they only travel back to the grocery store or something and they never go past that area to see that.
Well, you did make me think of something there. What do you think of this hydrogen situation? Apparently that's where Toyota's going. What do you think of hydrogen vehicles? Obviously, everybody's tripping on the EV vehicles in the comments. Apparently, you have to have an EV hookup to build a house in California, according to Dank Dank, or it's illegal to build a house now without having an outlet for an EV vehicle. That's crazy.
Well, that's not my problem. I ain't moving to California. Fuck that.
Right. But apparently the first hydrogen energy car only takes 5 seconds to refuel, and the range is 1,500 kilometers, which is around 1,000 miles, 900 miles or so.
Which is wild because, like, what I'm driving right now, I have a newish Civic, and 11 gallons or something like that. I get just about 400 miles a gallon. And I get pretty good gas mileage in the Civic. I mean, I'm averaging going down the road right now 41 miles a gallon right now.
Right.
And I'm still getting like 400 miles, maybe a little over 400 miles a tank. So if you're getting 900 and you can fill it in 5 seconds, like, why not go there?
Well, they're going to make it cost.
What are they going to charge for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they going to charge for that 5 seconds?
Yeah, because now you can get the EV vehicle, but it takes, 30 minutes at a supercharger to recharge it for so-and-so amount. Or you can get the hydrogen vehicle, and it only takes 5 seconds, but you got to pay this much more to refuel it, type thing.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be able to drive from down here back home to see family without having to stop multiple times, or, at least one more time for fuel or whatever.
Right.
Like, that part would be cool, but what am I going to, instead of me say I pay $40 a fill up, that's $80 up there. What am I going to instead pay $150 for a fill up for a one-time fill up?
Well, see, I thought they were. Let me see if I can.
Like, what would they charge? They're going to make it higher than gas because they want you to drive gas.
Right.
Because where else government getting money other than the gas that they're taking, fuel they're taking, the oil they're taking.
See, and
we could make our country could be a lot better off if we would use our own oil instead of using everyone else's.
Hold on, maybe AI is gonna help me. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, so I always was joking. I thought it was a joke, but I guess AI is confirming my jokes here live. I was always saying that I thought they were trying to go back to the moon to excavate it for helium-3, because helium-3 is like a fusion-based source, which is very big in energy. You might know that. You're in the military. But it's scarce. It's scarce on. Well, you're fine. It's scarce on the Earth, but on the moon, that's basically all the moon is made of. All the brightness of the moon is helium-3. And I thought I was seeing like Masonic symbolism when Tom Brady went from the Patriots to the Buccaneers, because, you know, the Patriots, the patriarchy, you know, excavates the earth for all of its oil and all of its resources to make money. And then to go to the moon, you would have to sail off into the deep blue to rob the moon of its resources, similar to a buccaneer would sail off into the ocean to rob of its resources. So or sail off into the ocean to rob people of resources. So I thought I was seeing the symbolism when he switched over. This is how long ago I was thinking of this. And I went to research who was taking the first, because this is back when they were trying to like push back to the moon, and using Elon. And I was like, why are they trying to go back to the moon? And I was connecting the dots, and I was like, they're trying to go there to fucking resource this son of a bitch. And when you looked up the first commercial flights to the moon, it was all the energy people, the Exxons, the BPs. Then I just looked it up right now. And I said, traveling to the moon for excavation of helium-3. And it's like, of course, certainly. Helium-3 is a fascinating resource that has captured the imagination of scientists and space enthusiasts alike. Wow.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
What my thing would be, when I could see that going bad. Because if they, they got to do their calculations or whatever, what they fuck that up, you're going to fuck with everything else up with the gravity and, everything else with the way the earth pulls and the fucking all that bullshit that I don't, not my side of it. But all that shit, wouldn't that, after a while, would that fuck with everything else?
Right. Or the rich people who want to become God just going to fly up in the personal little spaceships like Jeff Bezos and set this motherfucker on fire and reset the earth and become the gods of the future. Who knows what they're going to do?
That's valid.
Plant the seed of the world.
By the time they figure it out, we're long gone for that one.
This is why I'm worried about voting for Trump. I do feel like Trump is the guy who would push the red button. And when he pushes the red button, if a red button ever gets pushed, those fuckers I was just talking about going up into space before it happens, it's happening. I mean, they're gonna replant the fucking earth, is what I think. Have like 100 people to restart a new civilization, put some fucking, tablets with stone written in them somewhere and hide them around and go down as the new gods of the next human race.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing that scared me when I was out in Colorado is like, anywhere gets hit first, it's probably going to be about where I'm standing.
Right.
Because where I worked, I could like, if I worked like in the evenings like this or whatever, I could look out onto, like out towards like the flight line or whatever, and the lights in the mountain was NORAD. I could stare at NORAD every day.
Yeah, because if an attack ever happens, it's going to be to the resources of the military.
Yeah, well, NORAD is also, that's the safe place.
Yeah.
That's where your higher ups are going to go anywhere where the bunker is. Apparently, that's the so-called bunker. Because I'm not allowed to go up there. Like me and a buddy thought it would be a good idea to go up this road, and then we got guns pointed at us, even though we were in uniform. Just thought it'd be interesting to go see. Not a good idea.
Probably not.
No. Worth a shot, though. No, I agree. I don't see why we can't do like methane. What's wrong with methane? How hard is it to make methanol?
Well, apparently methanol can cause blindness if used in a large amount, but we have anecdotal evidence. I don't think Sammy or Steve is having issues of seeing. So, I mean,
yeah. Or what about have we ever had a smart car driver get blind from it?
No, and they're in that shit every week.
They're in that shit. What, 3-4 times a week?
Right.
Yeah.
Misinformation.
I just feel like that's another excuse that they don't want to go that route. When it could probably be easy. Not always the easy solution is a good solution, but you never know. The easy solution might be the right solution.
Well, and
they don't want someone else to prove what they could do, what they could have done fucking 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Well, and I have the same feeling with bricks. I was talking about bricks, 5 years ago as well, and that's finally came up into the discussions. I mean, I think the reason I was thinking of it 5 years ago is it looked like the left had identified the enemy as Russia, the right had identified the enemy as China, and bricks is a similar, to get the country to go to war with something, they have to have a common enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So BRICS back then was BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So that's the new manipulational ploy I think you're going to have once BRICS gets a little more mainstream. Apparently, Saudi Arabia is contemplating going to the BRICS dollar. When that happens, if that happens, apparently they're going to move off, because obviously the oil companies is what has made the U.S. dollar a standard. So if they do go off of if they move to the BRICS currency, that's when you're going to start seeing bullets fly.
Yeah. Well, in my eyes, I mean, Russia by themselves is, what we worried as kids and, parents before us always worried about, like, what if something pops off with Russia? Well, what they've showed me in the last 2 years and change or whatever it's been now, they ain't really shit.
No. But, I mean, that ain't their big guns.
They ain't shit at all.
The thing is, a lot of people got a lot of big guns that they ain't.
Like Saudi Arabia,
well, when you go to war with Ukraine, you ain't bringing out the big guns. You go to war with NATO and the United States, you're bringing out the big guns. So it's a little different.
I don't even think they have big guns. I don't think they even have the big guns.
I mean,
come on, they didn't even tell their soldiers they were going to war.
Somebody said UAE and Saudi has already done oil sales in the BRICS forum, Chaz. Yes, but I was told, I don't know if it's a fact. Guess we got our computer right here. We can research it. But I was told that they're going to move off of the petroleum dollar, which the petroleum dollar has always been the U.S. dollar.
Yeah. In my eyes, I don't know why us as a country, we can't self-sustain. We can self-sustain for a very long time. And it'd probably put a lot of these little countries or whatever out of business that are the issues. But we're not going to do that because we're done.
Yeah, so that's not good. So this is what that said here. This says,
put that pipeline in.
It says the recent entry of the UAE and Saudi Arabia into BRICS has significant implications for global economic dynamics, particularly concerning oil trades and the dominance of the U.S. dollar. The inclusion of major oil-producing nations like the UAE and Saudi Arabia into BRICS represents a notable expansion of the coalition, both geographically and economically. BRICS collective bargaining power. Let's see the role of the U.S. dollar in oil trade. The current global oil trade is predominantly transacted in U.S. dollars, known as the petrodollar system. Potential shift away from the U.S. dollar. China, as a key BRICS member, and the world's largest oil importer, has long expressed interest in reducing its dependency on the dollar. Beijing might leverage its increased clout with new Middle Eastern partners to promote trading oil in yuan, or what is it? How they say it? It's yuan, right? Yuan. That's the Chinese dollar or whatever. Yuan, or what is it called?
Yuan? Is it yuan?
Yuan, yuan, something like that.
I think it's yuan.
Or other local currencies. Both UAE and Saudi Arabia might find diversifying their currency reserves beneficial, reducing their exposure to any potential volatility in the U.S. dollar. The challenges and limitations. This is a war discussion. I hope people understand that. That's a war discussion.
Yeah, it is.
That's a war discussion. But the only side kicker to this is Bitcoin, apparently.
Which is weird.
Because Trump's pushing Bitcoin now.
What, to turn that into a currency?
Yeah, but you also got to understand, people don't get this much, but there is about a 4-generational war between the Trump family and the Federal Reserve families. So, I mean, it goes all the way back to Tesla, like actual Tesla. You know, so
yeah.
The Trump family's always wanted the gold standard. They were against the whole trading over into, fiat currency. So Trump's kind of always wanted to bulk in the Federal Reserve, I think. I think he wants to go back to a gold standard. But that's against the U.S. dollar, so the U.S. dollar would have to fall.
I don't think it would take much, sadly.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore at all. Not in the world we're in.
Early pick for Knoxville Nationals, David Gravel. There you go.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't like to say it out loud, but yeah. Not saying I'm not a Gravel fan, but I pick other people over Gravel.
That's a good point. Somebody said the U.S. is playing at smart. I'm assuming he meant to say U.S. is playing it smart, and they're buying up all the Saudi Arabia oil until it's an empty hole in the ground, and then we'll start using ours and not selling any of ours to anyone.
Yeah, that could be valid.
We do have a lot, but
I think Trump was trying to. Yeah, think about Alaska. That could sacrifice us for a very long time.
Yeah, but Alaska's very close to Russia. You start pulling shit like that, and then you just get these reserves.
Well, did you hear the rumors that Russia wants Alaska back?
Yeah.
Which is freaking wild. They're mad that they sold it pennies on the dollar because they didn't know what they had.
But at the end of the day, I still look at some of this stuff as a form of entertainment to keep the sheep in line. Honestly.
Yeah, because my eyes, no one's got the balls to hit the button.
I think Trump would be the only one, but the fear of the button has always been what's controlled you. It's never been the use of it.
Yeah, it's the fear.
Fear is the number one controller.
Yeah, that's all they care about. I don't think hopefully, because, I don't think I would want none of my family or me or any of us to ever go through, anyone here, to go through that button push. But I don't think it would ever happen, for the fact of they don't want to hit that button either.
Right.
I think even the higher ups, they're scared of that button also.
Right.
Now that it's there and it's an existing
people?
thing over the last... Even the lizard people. I mean, I've heard those rumors too, but I never got, love to have proof.
Vampires are real.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, anything's real. Why would they make movies about stuff where are they going to come up with these bullshit stuff when there's got to be something out there?
Yeah, even like the movie 300, when he had to go to war, he climbed this freaking weird mountain and talked to these weird guys in a husk at the top of a cliff that were like molesting a little young girl, to get approval to go to war.
I do remember that, yeah.
Those people don't exist? In
No, well,
today's
we learned that's not
society,
true.
yeah, exactly.
Well, we learned that's not true of that island out there.
Exactly,
That
and we think that's the only island.
No, we have this world map with all these locations and all. I bet you there is many islands that are not even on the world map.
The ice wall, Antarctica. You got to have world permission to go to Antarctica. That's insane.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what's there. Is it just a thing of ice, or is the ice just the shield of it, covering it up? Who knows?
Oh my!
You never know. I don't know. I think about stuff like that all the time, trying to think of the wild stuff that could be out there. You never know. Anything's possible. They like to hide it from everybody.
The Black Sun occult. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see it.
QAnon has followers for a reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, it is 12:30. I guess we should let everyone go to sleep at this point, right?
Oh shit! It is almost 1:40.
That means
it's probably a good idea. I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I gotta be at work at 4:00 tomorrow afternoon, and probably be off at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh my, that sucks.
Oh yeah. Well, we have a lot of broken shit I gotta fix, because we gotta go to good old California in a month. Go live in the Mojave Desert with no shower for fucking 30 days.
Better be getting paid good for that.
Yeah, you don't get paid shit for it. It's just normal.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You get benefits.
Well, no, they'll make sure I'm back. So the way they'll do it is they'll make sure we're back before day 30. So I'll probably come home on day 29, because if I'm like the people that are married, if they're out there for 30 plus, they have to pay you separation money.
Wow. Somebody just
brought up. So they'll make sure we're back on day 29.
Somebody just brought up there's islands you've never seen. I think that's where fucking Tupac and all of them go chill.
Yeah.
I think Kobe Bryant's out there. I think they're all out there. What's the once you become so famous while you're a living person, the only way to see yourself become even more famous is to be like a god. And what do all gods do? They die, and then everybody worships you. You know?
Yeah.
Just go to a private island.
See if your fame was actually worth it.
Right. You go to a private island and
how else are they going to know if they're actually going to be a living legend or not?
Right. And then you get to see it. They probably have closed circuit TV and all the perfect I'm sure these islands, I mean, if you can build Disney World, you can build it on a private island if you got all the money in the world. I mean, I'm sure some of these islands are like
Disney's government, so
I'm just saying, I'm sure there's private islands out there that are 100 like fucking amazing. Whatever resort, roller coasters, all kinds of shit, Neverland Ranch or whatever. But instead of Michael Jackson supporting it, it's fucking, oligarchies building them.
Yeah, I can see that.
They probably got racetracks out there and shit.
Yeah. Hopefully all dirt at least. Fuck.
Del Senior's out there and shit. Fucking chilling with Bobby Allison. I don't know. I'm just playing.
Yeah, I don't think Del Senior made that trip.
You never know. He did die and was worshipped publicly for years and years, changed the sport for the good. That's how they sell you. You're going to make positive impacts in the community.
I don't know if that changed the sport for the good. I know I have a family member, diehard Earnhardt fan I remember as a kid, because I remember that day. We were over there watching the race. I guess that's one of those things you always remember. Like 9/11, all those little small ones. You remember where you were when you watched it.
Well, just like 9/11, if you had money invested in the right spot, you made or hit a lot of money very easily. And just like if you had money invested into Hans devices and safer barriers, you made you a hell. Just like if you bought stock in Moderna, or what was it? Was it Moderna? What was it? Was it Moderna? If you bought stock in that company that developed the vaccine when it was like $20 a share. Yeah, so you go in there and buy $1,000 worth of share, that $1,000 worth of shares went to, you knew it was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, just like when we were younger, or like remember when I was in high school, like I kicked myself now, should have bought me and my dad even talked about it. He was like, should we buy this Bitcoin thing? Or I was like, I don't know what the hell that is, or if that would even be anything, and never did. And you could have bought thousands of them back then and be living fucking amazing nowadays.
Right. But even Bitcoin is based on the value of the dollar. That's the kicker.
Yeah.
You're only telling me it's worth this amount of dollars because of the value of the dollar. So this is my argument to Bitcoin. If the value of the dollar goes away, then the value of the Bitcoin goes away because its base value is on the dollar.
Correct.
But we may be doing some Bitcoin things. Maybe going to like some kind of private event this year and doing some stuff with the Bitcoin community. We'll see.
Okay. I'd be definitely interested in seeing that.
Okay.
Because I watch everything. I've been watching everything now for what? I think the last couple of years now.
Okay. Well,
and most of your live stuff I watch, I just usually am like sometimes like working shifts or whatever. I usually or sleeping when you're on late like this when I'm not on nights. I usually listen to it on the way in the morning.
Nice.
So that's usually when I message you and say something is because it's a day later. So that's when I'm actually seeing it. Right. When I have a question, that's usually when I'm messaging you.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get the hell out of
here. That's probably why you get those weird answers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate finally getting a chance to call in and get to talk to you because I've been wanting to bug you for a while. I wish I would have got to call you a while back when we had that little thing go off when we were talking about high limit and outlaw drivers.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
You had that thing. Yeah. Yeah. No, I just wanted to mess with you about that. Oh, like you said something about, I don't know, Brett Mark's pretty fucking good.
Wow.
So
anyways,
I'll still go with you on that one.
Might as well get out of here. I got to pee.
All right, man. Awesome. I appreciate the phone call, and just whenever you need a caller and I'm on nights, I'll gladly call and we can talk about anything.
Alrighty, man. Well, definitely, yeah. It was fun.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks for the support and watching.
You have a good night. Absolutely, man.
You as well.
Keep doing what you're doing because you're on the right track.
We'll try.
Absolutely.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh my, the caller has come to an end, and so is the show. Like I said, I gotta pee. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in here in the Hotel of the Week. We got the Team Fisher Oval Track Racing hat. We got the Chaz hat. We got to fix the... oh, God. The hair looks horrible. Look at that. Receding? Oh, how far back does it go? Oh, my God. It's time to shave it all off, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my. No wonder I ain't got laid in a couple of days. Wow. Keep the hat on here right there. I bet the views go down after that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's bad. Hold on. Can we at least flare it up or something? It ain't going to cover. It ain't going to cover. I'm going to have to get a Bret Michaels bandana. That's what I have to do. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We did have our live here today. We will probably do some more here, but I'd like to do some other content. I got some music potentially coming out here very soon. We have videos filmed. It's just trying to find the time with the monetary situation to actually do the videos, because if I waste a minute doing a video instead of going an Uber in or doing something that's going to make something very quickly, then we're screwed. So anyways, if you can join the support directly, links are in the description. The PayPal, the Venmo, they go a very long way in an instant format. Those who sent the super chats, especially Alex and Alexander. Sorry, I'm not going to be at Lawrenceburg. We are going to be at Beaver Dam, Wisconsin this week, though. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys out there. Thinking about Davenport this following midweek show with the High Limit Series. Been really looking forward to going to that track for quite some time. I believe that's coming up this next week. It may not be. It may be the fall. No, I think it is this next week. So might be at that one. We will see. We're living week to week, living on the edge. And that's this is how we do. So this is how we ride. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We will catch you next time. When that time may be, I don't know. Maybe same time tomorrow. We'll find out. Just like I will. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Catch you next time.
win as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. We can be the best like you